It's the 1996 edition of Walker Viking football.
And welcome everyone to Gambrell Cairo Field for week number 2 of the Walker Vikings high school football season. Along with me again this week is Greg Tinker and Richie Harbison, and we hope to bring you the best, probably one of the best games of the young season tonight, Greg, the Walker Vikings and the Curry Yellow Jackets. And last year you and I were at Curry when these two played, and shootout does not even begin to describe it. I think it was 62-41, something along that line, a tremendous passing effort more than anything by both teams.
Oh, it was incredible. The scoring in the first half, I think it ended up 35-34 at half Walker, and there were no punts in the first half. It was just that I've talked to that it was the most incredible football game, that high school football game that I've ever seen, at least that one half of it. Just incredible.
Well, you know, as we left, as a matter of fact, it was just within a point or two of each other at halftime. Of course, then Walker's depth showed a little bit in the second half, and I believe that's probably what we'll see a lot of tonight. Walker greatly outnumbering the Curry Yellow Jackets.
Well, I think so. I think as the game goes on, we'll see that. But tonight, with the weather being a little bit cooler, that's going to play, or it's going to favor Curry, at least to that extent, because the players probably will not get as tired as they would have if it had been humid and terribly hot like it was last week when we saw midfield kind of wear down in the third and fourth quarter. So, but I do think that Walker's depth overall will probably tell on Curry late in the third, early in the fourth quarter.
Of course, folks, you know, these two schools are just very few miles apart. And Richie, having been a football player here in Walker County, nothing like stepping on the field with a team from your own county. It's kind of Alabama-Auburn rolled into one. It's bragging rights.
That's right. You know everybody that's on the other team. You see them out in Jasper. You know, a lot of them's good friends. And this is bragging rights for the year. This is bragging rights. Even for the people that ain't on the field. You got a lot of folks that work together. Some from Curry, some from Jasper. A lot is riding on this game. So it's going to be real fun, exciting. I'm looking forward to it.
And of course, we want to, Greg and I and Richie want to tell you up front, now this is a Jasper Quarterback Club presentation, Greg. And we are paid by the Jasper Quarterback Club, the Walker football program. So we will be slightly partial, to say the least. That means in no way to disrespect, you know, our good friends up at Curry, Greg.
Right. Well, myself being a Curry grad way back in 1982, and my wife being a Curry grad also, we have some partiality toward Curry, of course, but then I taught here in the city system and coached for 10 years, so I'm a Walker Viking at heart now, and we are being paid by the Walker Vikings, so sure, we're going to be pulling for the Walker Vikings.
Well, folks, we're going to take a commercial break. We'll come back and talk about the starting lineup and bring you the opening coin toss right after this.
When it comes to special occasions or holidays, many jewelry stores offer sales or discount rates. At Southern Wholesale Jewelers, we have the lowest prices on premium quality jewelry year-round while providing quality diamonds with Southern hospitality service. So go ahead, shop the sales and the discounts. But for the lowest prices on quality jewelry, visit Southern Wholesale Jewelers, Eastgate Shopping Center, Highway 78, Jasper.
What young people need from us is a checking account
that's affordable.
Young people just can't afford
extra money for bank fees.
I propose
just checking from South Trust Bank.
We'll charge just
99 cents a month.
Let them write as many checks as they like with no per check charge.
And our anytime teller card?
Make it free. Yeah.
And satisfaction is guaranteed.
That's it.
Just checking.
Just for people 25 and under.
Just at South Trust.
Lucky Larry here with a word of warning about the Crystal Chicken Sandwich. It's a quarter pound of real breast filet embraced by a caramel of crispy coating. It's extra spicy, extra crunchy, and extra dangerous because this harmonic convergence of tenderness and crunch does have its drawbacks. I've already lost 2 whole fingers and a lot left.
Hi folks, I'm Dr. Camp, and this is my wife Judy. This is one of our llamas, Silver Streak. Silver Streak loves watching Walker High football. As you can see, the llamas are all excited. They're headed for the TV set where they can watch the football this year. If you want to learn more about llamas and their relationship to football, give us a ring.
At Colonial, we believe banking is a lot like fishing. You have to know the waters, know what really matters to all those big old fish. Most of all, you need a can-do spirit that just doesn't quit. If you have all that, you'll find the best doesn't always have to be the biggest. The best will just catch more fish.
Colonial Bank, we can do.
If you're looking for the best price on a new Toyota or GMC truck, it's at John Crump Toyota GMC in Jasper, where we'll do whatever it takes. I guarantee it.
Here we are, folks, at week number 2 of Walker Viking football, Greg. A packed house here at Gambrell Cairo Field tonight as the Jackets take on, the Vikings take on the Jackets, the Curry Yellow Jackets, as a matter of fact.
Well, you would expect that tonight, Keith, considering the fact that it's a cross-county rivalry, really not even cross-county, the schools only about 8 to 10 miles apart. And after last year's shootout, which Walker won, you would certainly expect that there would be a capacity crowd here, and they're still filing in at about 7:25, and the bleachers are just about full on both sides. There is a ton of excitement in the air tonight, Keith.
Well, it's going to be a big game. Of course, last year was something that is just hard to imagine, a game with the amount of points. That's what was scored last year for Walker and Curry's 62 points to 41 points. Tremendous amount of yardage and some of the best passing and catching, and there were some great runs in there as well.
It was a tremendously exciting football game last year with senior quarterbacks leading both squads. And it looks like tonight that the Curry Yellow Jackets are sending out all of their seniors for this game. This will be one of the biggest games of the year for them. The Walker Vikings will send out their captains, 44, Michael Munzie, 23, Andy Belot, 67, John Miller, and 52, that's going to be Dustin Mahan. So the Walker captains and the Curry captains are out, and we're going to go down on the field to Richie Harbison for the coin toss.
And it's who's celebrating 50 years of business.
Captain Mahan and Captain Munson. Gentlemen, now you can go ahead and shake hands, please. All right, gentlemen, you've been chosen captain for your playing ability and your leadership ability. We expect you to be good examples of that out here tonight. If we're having trouble with your team, we're going to come to you and ask you to help us with it, okay? All right, if I have a penalty, we're going to call for black captain, white captain. I want one of you to come forward quickly. I'll explain the penalty to you. I'll explain all the options. Now, if you don't understand it, ask me to do it again. Because once you make your decision, then it's final, okay? Visiting team, who's the spokesman here, please? There's this gentleman right here. Right in his head, tails. I'm going to flip it, call it in the air, please. If I drop it, we'll do it again. Heads. He called heads, gentlemen. It is heads. You want the ball. You want to receive, okay? Which goal would you like to defend? Back that way, please. White team, push back this way, please. All right, white team won the toss and will receive.
And there you see it, folks. The Walker Vikings going to have to be on the ball defensively to start the game tonight. And Curry wants the ball, and Greg, here come the Vikings.
Here come the Vikings onto the field for the second game in the 1996 season. Walker coming off a big victory last week over Midfield. Curry coming off a Thursday night victory over Carbon Hill. So, Keith, both teams are beginning the year just as they began last year, but they're meeting each other earlier in the year than they did last year.
Well, that's right. We talk about last year, Greg, but actually last year was not... It's not been exact a year ago since they played, like I said, they played later in the year. Last year, both of them had a little bit of time to make adjustments. Haven't watched each other Fortunately, this year, Curry played on Thursday night. Walker was able to scout them. Walker played on Friday night. Curry was able to scout us. So it's going to be an interesting game to see what's going to happen, especially with us with the 10th grade quarterback starting.
Well, Curry starts a senior quarterback, number 16, Shane Owens, who played backup last year to Troy Williams. And, of course, the key player for Curry is Kevin Key. Key player, no pun intended there, really, and in a way, I guess there is. Number 22, one of the captains. He is actually Brad Key. Kevin Key was one of the captains. Brad Key is the fullback, number 28, that you'll want to be looking for. He is a senior, 6'1", 210. And Keith, when they had the weight competition here, the strongman competition, Brad Key won that here, and he also won it in Aniana. So he's a very strong young man.
Well, I watched Curry play up at Carbon Hill a couple of weeks ago, and the difference in the ball game was Brad Key at fullback, Greg. He had some big runs, scored at least one, may have scored two. A big thing with Curry this year is Walker does not really know what to expect. Last year, they knew that they were going to throw the ball. They had a great quarterback. But this year we have some outstanding defensive players that really came into their own this year, Greg, last week against Midfield. Teron Chapman had a great game last week, defensive back, and playing undoubtedly one of the top receivers that we'll probably face all year.
That's true. A tremendous athlete at wideout from midfield last week at about 6'4", and I would imagine we'll see him playing on Saturday sometime on down the line. The Vikings are going to be kicking, and it will be number 23, actually number 27, Johansson, doing the kicking for the Vikings. Andy Belot would figure to play a lot at safety. Johansson boots it down to the 6, where it's taken by the Yellow Jackets, and a big return up the middle. And it's going to be number 12 for the Yellow Jackets, who's going to run this thing all the way back for a touchdown through a big hole in the middle of the line, and a breakdown in the kicking game immediately gives the Curry Yellow Jackets a 6-0 lead and brings their fans to their feet with quite a roar, and I'm sure it's a shock for the Vikings. It's something that you and I talked to Coach Davis about on Thursday morning, Keith, yesterday morning, about special teams and a breakdown in that, as we saw in the midfield game, and now here's a breakdown early in the game.
Well, Greg, as slow as I am, I could have got through that hole. It was a breakdown on the kicking game. Here it is on the replay. Let's look at it real quick.
Number 12, Kerry Goodwin for the Yellow Jackets, and you can see right there that nobody took that middle lane. Every person on the kickoff team has a lane to cover, and there was no one in the middle lane. They either overran the play or got blocked out of it. Consequently, there was a seam right up the middle of the field, which Goodwin took and outran the rest of the Vikings for a 94-yard touchdown.
Well, that's something we can't have happen, Greg. We've got to come up strong on that kicking game. Kerry Goodwin, a quick running back. If he gets a step on you, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to catch him. Curry charged already with the delay of game on the extra point attempt.
Something interesting, Keith, before the kickoff, Johansson was out alone on the field. The other part of the kicking team, the other 10 members were huddled around Coach Davis, and I'm sure that the last instructions that he gave to them was everybody make sure you stay in your lane, make sure we contain the man, and lo and behold, they don't. The extra point attempt is good, and so Curry takes a quick 7-0 lead with 11:47 to go in the first quarter, and with that, we're going to take a commercial break, and we'll be back in just a moment.
If you're looking for the best price on a new Toyota or GMC truck, it's at John Crump Toyota GMC in Jasper, where we'll do whatever it takes. I guarantee it.
We're back here at Gambrell Cairo Field. Curry Yellow Jackets leading 7-0. Now the Vikings will receive the kickoff.
Well, Greg, it's going to be interesting to see what we saw some good kick returns from our guys last week. Tremont Chapman deep, Mercer deep.
Jay Pierce deep.
Jay Pierce. And I tell you, Greg, it's going to be interesting. You see the three down there together, talking it, getting ready, and getting situated. And it's going to be, we need a good return, and a lot of folks are concerned. But if they watch, I believe there's been a lot of talk about Adam Cox not playing tonight. last report I heard, Adam will be in the game, but I've also heard we may be in for some surprises tonight. That's all I could get out of the coaches was there may be some surprises. It would not surprise me, Greg, to see him put it in the air tonight.
Well, there's already been a huge surprise to this stunned Walker crowd early on, and it'll be interesting to see how the offense responds. Brad Key to kick, and it's going to be a short kick. It's going to be fielded by Sean Mercer at his own 14, and it's a middle return. Mercer up the middle, breaks it to the outside, and is tackled at his own 35-yard line. So the Vikings will take over first down and 10 on their own 35.
Well, Greg, if you can think back a couple of years ago, or 3 years ago when Walker and Curry played, last time they played on Gabriel Cairo Field, as a matter of fact, it was not like last year's game as we watched the replay, but there was a lot of big returns on kickoffs, and it looks like we may be along that same line this week.
Walker comes out in the usual formation, twins with a single back. That's Adam Cox. And it is at quarterback. Got a man wide open down the middle, and it's underthrown. Chris Waldrop underthrows the pass, broken up by the Yellow Jackets, so it will be second down and 10, and Walker does come out throwing the ball. And I think maybe, Keith, that they sensed in looking at the film this past week that they might be able to exploit perhaps a Curry weakness in their pass defense, but this pass was overthrown. And we talked with Coach Davis earlier about that. Keith, you might just explain that.
Well, a lot of folks don't realize that on the football field you have a crown, and the middle of the field is higher than the ends. And Waltrip is having a little trouble adjusting to that. They practice on a flat field, and he's having some trouble adjusting to the crown.
Second and 10 now. This pass goes to Pierce in the flat. He is not down yet. He is now after a gain of about 4. So a quick pass out to the left flat picks up 4. It's going to be 3rd and 6 for the Vikings.
Well, already here we are into the game with 11 minutes left, Greg, and already a key play coming up. Let's watch this play develop. It was a good play, but Curry was ready for it. But the Vikings are coming out showing them that we're going to throw the ball. You're going to have to respect our quarterback throwing the ball, and if not, we're going to hurt you.
A good throw and catch there, but it is 3rd down and 6 now from the Walker 39. Trips, twin set. This pass also overthrown by Waldrop. It sails high and away from the intended receiver, number 14, LaRon Clay. So it's going to bring up a 4th down, and Adam Cox will be punting the ball away to the Curry Yellow Jackets. So a very inauspicious beginning for the Walker Vikings, 3 downs and out, managing only 4 yards in the series.
Well, Greg, I know a lot of folks are surprised, and it's early in the game, and there's a lot of pressure on the Vikings. The bigger school comes out playing a little bit smaller school. Folks expect them to win the game easily, and, Curry is a growing program, and there's a fake, and
The fake goes absolutely nowhere. The snap from my hand goes to Tremont Chapman, who falls down on the fake at his own 34, losing 5 yards. The Yellow Jackets will now be able to take over with the ball deep in Walker territory.
Well, that's one of the things, it's a great play when it works, and sometimes it's not meant to be. As we saw Tremont slip a little bit, as you notice, there's some spots on the field. They have played a lot of games here in the last few weeks, Greg, but now it's time for that Viking defense to be tested.
First down and 10 now for the Yellow Jackets from the Walker 34. Owens under center, pitches back to Goodwin, who has a big hole on the right side. He's going to gain good yardage across the 30 down to about the 26 before he's forced out of bounds by number 24, Terrence Mitchell.
Well, if you remember back last week, Greg, where we got hurt the most was on the outside like that. And here they're coming right into your living room. Pictures is worth 1,000 words. It's a good play. We got out there and kept it from being a big, big play.
Second down and 2 now for the Yellow Jackets. Out of the I set. One receiver split wide left. Owens gives up the middle to Key, and he carries a pile of Vikings and Yellow Jacket blockers into first down territory down to the Viking 22.
There you see Coach Junior Smith going over a little bit with the team to figure out what they need to do. And I'm sure, Greg, he's telling them, hey, if we go out there and we block and do what we need to do, we're going to move the ball on this team. Let's settle down. Let's not try to make something happen that's not there.
First down and 10 now for the Yellow Jackets from the Viking 22-yard line. Owens under center, again out of the I backfield, twins to the left. This time it's going to be faked up the middle and pitched right to Goodwin, who is forced out of bounds by number 23, Andy Belot, on a touchdown-saving tackle, and is going to be close to a first down and probably will be a first down at the 11-yard line.
Well, all it is was a fake to the middle, and, you know, we were talking early in the game, if you can get folks suckered in on the fullback, that opens up a lot of stuff, and a touchdown-saving tackle by Belot there, number 23.
First down and 10 now from the 11. A good fake that time by Owens to his fullback, and the pitch to Goodwin, and Goodwin is a dangerous back, a speedy back, as attested to by his touchdown return. This time he's going to be stuffed in the backfield. Leading the charge is going to be number 75, Rick Gillen, and it's time for the defense to rise up, Keith.
Also number 48, Jared Daniel was in on that play too, Greg. Or Chris Williams, rather. And here we are again, a great play by the defense, making a stand here. Good stuff. What we've got to do down here is get tough, but we've got to be careful because they cannot afford to let them try to get outside, Greg.
It's going to be a second down and 10 now for the Yellow Jackets. They only have 7 on the play clock, and they are not yet to the line of scrimmage, so they're in danger of having a delay, and they're going to have a delay right here. The play clock expires, and we might just say to the fans who are watching that every time the official well, they're going to give them a timeout.
They did get the timeout. Coach Williams was signaling for a timeout over on the sideline. Well, Greg, let's go ahead and take a commercial break, and we'll come back and watch this Viking defense take a stand. Try to hold Curry out of the end zone.
Oh, she's got to notice me when she comes by. I mean, look at me. What's not to notice? I'm here. I tell you, if you want to feel good, you got to look good. And if I'm going to run good, I got to feel good. Look at me. I'm designed for a high-octane gas. I love it. That's what I need. This Chevron Supreme with Tech Run. I mean, it makes me run like a champ. It's all good stuff. I mean, it's mind-boggling.
No premium outperforms new Chevron Supreme with Tech Run. Chevron, simply smarter.
I mean, I don't mean to brag or anything, but I feel stupendous.
We're back here at Gambrell Cairo Field with the Curry Yellow Jackets leading 7-0 with 9:40 to go here in the first quarter. It's a second down and 10 from the Viking 11. Curry having to spend a timeout early rather than take a 5-yard penalty. Owens under center out of the I backfield. This time he's going to give to Key up the middle, and he's going to be stacked up at the line of scrimmage. Maybe a gain. They're going to give him a half a yard down just inside the 11.
Now, third long, that's a tricky play with this Curry team because they have shown the ability to run it up the middle good, Greg. It's going to take several players to pull Brad Key down. You've got to watch the corners right here because you can't afford to let them get outside. You sure don't want to give them first and goal from the 1-yard line.
Big call here for the Yellow Jackets. Twins to the right, I backfield. Owens under center, third down and almost 10. This time he makes the give and carries it himself. Don't know if that was a miscue or if it was supposed to happen that way, but Owens had to eat the ball on that play.
Lee Johnson in on that play, as well as Rick Gilliland, among others. A great play. Let's look at it here on the replay. That's what we've got to do. We've got to penetrate off that line.
It wasn't a miscue. It was just good penetration by the Viking defense. Cameron Cox, number 32, stunning on that play, and Owens had nowhere to go.
Also Anthony Fleming in on the call, and we've got a field goal attempt going, Greg. Let's see what we've got.
The kick is going to be up in the air, and it's good. And so a breakdown in special teams for the Vikings leads to 10 early points for the Yellow Jackets. And with 8:29 remaining in the first half, or in the first quarter, that is, the Curry Yellow Jackets lead 10-0. And with that, Keith, we're going to break away from the action, and we'll come back in just a moment with the second kickoff by the Curry Yellow Jackets.
At Star Automotive, we know how to use our legs too. We'll walk right out onto the lot and show you the finest selection of quality automobiles and pickup trucks in Northwest Alabama. You'll be the star when you select a car from Legs Kilgore, Legs Williams, and the guys at Star Automotive on Viking Drive in Jasper.
We're back to live action, and we're going to go down to the sideline. Richie, what is the feeling down on the sideline among the players?
These guys know this game's just started, Greg. They hollering at each other. They trying to get each other up. They're not going to get down. It's too early in the game to get down, Greg. They still got a positive attitude, and this game's far from over.
All right.
It is a long game. We're only 3.5 minutes into the first quarter, and I guess there are quite a few Viking fans who are very surprised, but I feel quite certain that the Curry faithful are not surprised at all because they fully expect to win this game.
And another short kick, Greg.
This one's going to go to Chapman at his own 15, and it's a middle return. Chapman breaks a couple of tackles out across his own 30 to the 33-yard line, where the Vikings will take over now for their second series, 1st and 10.
Well, Greg, that's the second time tonight that Tremont has been just a player away from making a long return on that. Another good return. The Vikings in good field position at the 33-yard line or about the 32-yard line. And I tell you what, it is, and there we see it on the replay, and they're trying to go up the middle and good blocking. Just one player. He gets by that player, Greg, and it's a whole different ball game right there. Here we go.
Waldrop pitches to Cox, and Cox is going to be over the 35, out to about the 37. A pickup of 5 on first down, 2nd down and 5 for the Vikings from their own 37.
Well, Greg, a lot of the fans from Curry have been talking about they were going to stop Adam Cox tonight. They're going to stop Adam. Well, I got a surprise for them. They may stop Adam, but there's 4 other players on that field that can run the ball good, and they better keep a watch on every one of them.
The Vikings do have a lot of people who have ability.
Whoa, what a play.
You see one of them there, Sean Mercer, hurdling a couple of players across the 40. Is going to bring up a 3rd down now and a short 2 after a pickup of 3. The ball just across the 40-yard line.
And, of course, we saw this little misdirection stuff a lot last week. Of course, we saw Terrence break several big plays like that. A great athletic move right there by Mercer.
Good tackle by number 11, John Freeman, who is also a senior. Curry is a senior-laden football team. The whole offensive line returning from last year. A lot of players that played in last year's game. So they've been in some big games. This time the give is to Cox up the middle. Actually, it's not. It's kept by Waldrop around the right end, and he's going to pick up the first down. Excellent fake.
Good play, Greg. Good play. And that's what we've got to do. They're going to be looking for Mr. Cox out of the backfield, and rightfully so.
Here
we go. Great
job of faking the football there by Waldrop, and you can see how the entire defense, middle of the defense, is drawn to the football.
Well, we talked about this last week, Greg. Since Coach Davis and his staff have been here, the quarterbacks execute so well for the Walker Vikings as far as hiding the football.
1st and 10 at the 47. This time Schemberger runs into his own man, who attempting to block. That's number 67, John Miller, and he and Terrence get tangled up, and consequently Terrence falls in the backfield and loses 4 yards back to the 42.
They say, of course, that actually he just tripped over his legs, Greg, and that slowed him down just enough for the Curry pursuit to get in there and bust up the play.
It appears early on, Keith, that the Yellow Jackets are really got their chin straps on tight and blowing and going along that line, and the passing game probably will work. This time they drop back in a straight zone. The throw is going to be overthrown, and it's going to be picked off, and the Yellow Jackets are going to have the ball once again inside Viking territory. Number 14, John Oliver, a sophomore, wide receiver, defensive back, 6'1", 200, picks that off and returns it to the Viking 37. So we've seen tonight, Keith, on the passes that Chris is throwing downfield, exactly what Coach Davis talked about, throwing the ball high, and we may very likely see a quarterback change the next series.
Well, he appears to be pushing the ball, Greg, a lot, and that's because he throw the ball high, and a lot of it is still getting used. He's only played 1 game on this field with the crown on it. There you see Junior Smith getting offense down there and talking to him, and, tell him, settle down, guys, we're doing all right. Well, I tell you what, we're in a heat break right here. Let's go ahead and take a commercial break, Greg, and come back to more action of Walker Viking football.
Of all the places Arnie and I have traveled, our favorite destination is home. Now there's a Lexington furniture collection that makes coming home even more rewarding. It's called the Palmer Home Collection, and it's based on the things that we value most: family, tradition, integrity. For us, those values are what success is all about.
See the entire collection at Showcase Galleries on the 78 Highway in Jasper.
We're back here to live action, 6:02 remaining in the first quarter. The Curry Yellow Jackets leading 10-0, and they now have the ball on a Viking turnover, an intercepted pass, and they will begin first down and 10 on the Viking 37. Owens under center, this time is going to pitch to Goodwin, and he has the corner again, and 35, it looks like Bull Ferris is able just to get enough of a hand on him to push Goodwin out of bounds, and he will pick up 9 on the Viking 28.
And here it is, coming right in your living room. A good block there by number 74 of Curry to open it up, and then a little help from the sideline on that one.
Actually, that was Andy Belot again making a saving tackle because Goodwin had plenty of room to run had Belot not been able to shove him out of bounds. Second down and 1. The pitch this time to Goodwin on the left side. And again, Goodwin is through a hole and across the first down yardage marker for a first down inside the 25 down to the 24.
Yeah, it looked like Cameron Cox in on that play, Greg. Right now, the Jackets are doing what they want to do. They're controlling the ball. They're getting the big plays out around the ends, and that's going to set up your plays up the middle, little quick poppers.
Once again, a tackle by Andy Belot. And right now, Keith, we're getting whipped on the defensive line. First down and 10 for the Yellow Jackets from the Viking 24. And there's going to be a penalty there on the Vikings, it appears. We'll have to see if anybody on the Jacket side moved. No, the Vikings are moving back. It's going to be offsides. That'll bring up a 1st and 5 for the Vikings.
And
the Yellow Jackets.
That really hurts when you come up and have it, the first down cut in half, Greg. And all you need is 5 yards to make a first down. You have 4 plays now to make a first down. And they're definitely in 4-down territory right now. Well, I don't know. That's the way that kicker kicked a while ago. They may not be.
First down and 5 from the Viking 19. Again, the Yellow Jackets out of the eye. The pitch is going to go to the left to Goodwin. And he's going to be stopped there.
Like Muncie.
By number 44, Michael Muncie, one of the captains.
A great
and it's the
first down, Vikings. All right. Well, that's what we need, Greg. We need a break like that. Something to ignite these fans. Now you see them on the feet up there. If we can get a shot of the fans.
We'll see on the replay what happened here, hopefully. Goodwin was stripped to the ball, and it's hard to tell there, but you can see as he went down, he did not have the football.
And we have a new quarterback in the game,
come
Greg.
up with it. I really suspected, Keith, that Coach Davis would make a change, not because Chris has done anything wrong or done anything so poorly, but just to make a change and see if Brandon Porter will be able to move the team.
Right.
First and 10 for the Vikings from their own 20. Porter now at quarterback. This give is going to be to Schamberger around the left end, and he's stacked up right at the line of scrimmage for no gain.
Well, there you see the Viking crowd. They've had very little to get excited about right now, Greg. And going back to the quarterback, we have to remind everyone that we have 2 sophomore quarterbacks. Chris Waltrip, a sophomore quarterback. It's a tough situation to get in. All of a sudden, you're down 10 points. You want to go out there and you want to carry the team yourself, and it's hard to do. It's a lot of pressure on a young man.
Brandon Porter, also a sophomore quarterback. So the Vikings very young and inexperienced, and this was one of the things at the beginning of the year that was a question mark, and it may tell on the Vikings tonight. Porter rolling right is going to be taken down behind the line of scrimmage for a loss of 2 yards back to the 19-yard line. Right now, the Curry Yellow Jacket defense doing an excellent job of shutting down the Viking offense.
Well, here we are on a replay. The Jackets are pumped, Greg. They're ready to play. But, of course, let's think back 1 year. These Vikings and Jackets played nose-to-nose for 1 half, and 1 half only, and then it was on Walker. So it's not too, it's way too early to give up ship.
3 minutes and 52 seconds remaining in the first quarter. The Vikings now with a 3rd down and 11. Porter under center with a single back. Have twins on both sides.
Schamberger.
This time the throw is going to be picked off. Again actually this time it's John Freeman who will pick off the ball. And the Vikings are certainly rattled now on offense. Not able to do anything at all well. Porter throwing interception on his first series.
Well, there you see it on the replay, Greg. And, of course, we have to remember again, these young men's only their 2nd high school game. And it's not so much of what Curry is doing good tonight, Greg, it's what we're not executing.
First down and 10 now for the Yellow Jackets from the Viking 23-yard line. They've played on the Viking end the entire game so far. 3 minutes and 38 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Owens back to pass.
Get him, get him,
rush.
get him.
Owens breaks through the line and is going to be tackled after a pickup of about 3. The ball will rest at the 20-yard line where it will bring up a second down and 7.
Well, that's what we've got to do. Defensive secondary did a good job last week, Greg, and that was not so much a defensive sack as that was a coverage sack. He had no place to go with the ball, as you can see here, and the Vikings were on him all over the place. Some great play. That might be a little push in the back right there.
Norfleet.
Great defensive surge by the Vikings.
This time it looks like Owens may be audibling at the line. It's a second down and 7. Quick pitch to Goodwin.
Got him, get him.
Nowhere this time.
Nowhere to go.
A good adjustment by Henry Swindle, number 47. He had been getting sucked into the play. This time he stays on the outside for contain. Henry forces Goodwin to go wide, consequently has nowhere to go, and the pursuit catches up with him.
There you see, just great job.
You see, Henry did a good job that time standing up the
Cameron
offensive
Cox,
lineman.
Ricky Gillen, a host of tacklers. This is what we need, Greg. We need some big plays. We need to get energized out there, get the fans back in the game. That's what's helped Curry. It's taking the Walker fans out of the game early.
Third down now and a long 10 from the Viking 24. This time the pitch goes to Goodwin around the left end. And Goodwin is going to break 3 or 4 tackles before Munsey's able to wrestle him out of bounds. Short of first down territory, so it's going to be 4th down now and about 3.
Well, Greg, that was a great run. Some key blocks. You'll see one coming up right here, a missed tackle. Block right there on Andy Belot, a great block that helped spring him in. It might have been a little behind the back on that. Not that I would say anyone missed the call, but that was a questionable one. And, of course, Coach Williams taking, looks like his second timeout of the first quarter, Greg.
Well, with that timeout, Keith, is 1:49 remaining in the first quarter. We will take a break with the Curry Yellow Jackets leading 10-0.
They say losing hurts the most, which may be true if you're the quarterback for a Cinderella team, and in the last seconds of a wild card playoff, you go for the 2-point conversion, which gets intercepted, and nobody ever lets you forget that one boneheaded call. But what really hurts is your 250-pound neighbor driving your face into the front lawn, reminding you you're not a pro, but an accountant, and now you probably need Sports First, athletic health care dedicated to sports injuries.
We're back here at Gambrell Cairo Field with 1:49 remaining in the first quarter. And it's been in some ways a very long first quarter, and one that the Vikings hope ends, at least with the Yellow Jackets, with the ball right here on a 4th down and 4. The Yellow Jackets are lined up to go for it rather than try a field goal. Got 2 men split wide right. Owens under center.
And we jump. Or did we? Curry's excited. I couldn't tell, Greg. I believe.
Offsides on the Vikings. It's going to give Curry a first down, and a mental error there is very, very costly for the Vikings.
Well, Greg, I don't know that was so bad, because if you looked out here, poor old Tremont Chapman had 2 defenders out here, and he was by his very lonesome out here. Of course, it may have been a trick play all along to try to get the Vikings to jump, and same
formation for the Yellow Jackets, so perhaps they were not planning to pull the Vikings off sides, but nonetheless they jumped off sides. 1st and 10 for the Yellow Jackets. A pass out in the flat. It's going to be wide open, and a touchdown for the Curry Yellow Jackets is going to run the lead out to 16-0 here in the first quarter. And Keith, momentum here is rolling for the Yellow Jackets.
Well, Greg, I don't know. Of course, we can't see it from this angle on the replay. But there were 2 Curry defenders out here and 1 Walker defender trying to cover him, as you can see right there, and he was wide open. Tremont Chapman had to go deep because no one picked up one of the players, and he was out there, hung out to dry by himself.
A blown coverage leads to a touchdown, and the extra point for the Yellow Jackets is good. And in this first quarter, they have taken a commanding 17-0 lead over the Walker Vikings. And if the Vikings don't regroup rather quickly and get some points on the board, it could be a long night.
Well, Greg, I tell you, it's interesting. Like you see the score there, 17-0. A lot of folks thought that Curry would come in after losing the great players that they did last year, that they would come in and be intimidated with Walker having so many skill positions back. Curry has entered this game like they were playing right here, like we were in Curry, Alabama. They came in the big kickoff return, quieting the Walker fans early, got the Curry fans. I don't know, as you can see on your screen there, they are lined up everywhere over there. Well, that's the cheerleaders right there, but as you can see across the screen there, they are lined up over there, all up into the school area, Greg. This is what high school football, I started to say college football. A lot of schools like to have college football. Like this is what high school football is all about. Big crowds. We're going to have to wake up. We're going to have to start executing just a little bit better.
What would really be helpful here is if Chapman could break a long run here, Chapman or Mercer or Pierce, one or the other. What Curry's been doing on the kickoff, though, has been very effective. It's almost been like a punt, Keith. The kickoff is going very, very high, giving the coverage team an opportunity to get down and sort of surround the returner. However, this time it's going to be more of a line drive. Chapman's going to take the ball back about his own 14 and break it up the middle, and he's going to carry the ball out to about the 40-yard line, actually at the 39 where they're going to spot it. So the best field position to this point for the Vikings.
Well, by far, Greg, the best field position that we've had tonight. We need to come out. There's no need to worry about anything right now. We have a quality ball team, quality players. We see it on the replay here. Chapman bringing the ball up. And once again, Greg, I've covered Coach Williams, but we'll talk a little more about his kickoff here in just a minute.
1st and 10 for Porter. The give up is up the middle to Cox, who's going to pick up about 3 or 4 yards across the 40 out to the 42. So let's give him 3 on the carry. 2nd down and 7.
Well, last year I covered the, of course, teams throughout the county, and I was up at Curry a lot as they were in the playoffs as well. The one thing about Coach Williams, I never saw him kick a long kick last year. It was always short and high, give his coverage team plenty of time to get down there and cover the kick, and they've done an outstanding job with that tonight.
2nd down and 7 for Porter. In motion is Schamberger. This time the pitch is going to be to Schamberger. Got a little running room in the open field, and that should be a late hit out of bounds. He was clearly 3-4 steps out of bounds when he got hit. No signal from the official. It's going to be a 1st down, and Keith, I'm very frankly surprised that we don't get a flag. We'll be able to see it very clearly here, I think.
I think what it was, I think they're saying his momentum carried him over, Greg. I think he got hit right as he got to the line.
Here's the late hit, and we're not going to be able to see it, but he was 2 or 3 steps out of bounds when that hit occurred. And you can see how far behind the players' bench he was carried because of that. Nonetheless, it's a 1st down for the Vikings at midfield. 1st down and 10 now with time running out in the 1st quarter. 49 seconds remaining in the 1st quarter. The Curry Yellow Jackets with a 17-0 lead.
And obviously, Greg, the ground out there must have a runny nose because there have been plenty of handkerchiefs dropped on it already this game. Once again, it's against
all
the Vikings.
of them to this point against the Vikings.
That's something that'll kill you quicker than anything. There you see Coach Davis and his staff trying to figure out what is going wrong.
That's a sign, Keith, when you get penalties like offsides and illegal procedure, that's a sign of not being mentally sharp. The Vikings have got to pick it up mentally if they're going to win this football game. And right now, we're just not nearly as sharp as the Yellow Jackets are mentally. 1st down and 15 for Porter from inside his own 45. In motion is Mercer. The pitch to Cox around right in. Cox is going to get back to the original line of scrimmage.
And then some.
And beyond.
Looky here now.
An inspiring run, and that will be the thing right there, Keith, that can pick up the Walker Vikings is somebody stepping up like that and leading by example.
Well, there's one person on this team, Greg, that probably leads by example more than anyone, and that is number 30, Mr. Adams Cox. This game means a lot to him, and this is just want to right here.
Extra effort by 3-0 on that play. Into Yellow Jacket territory for the first time. 2nd down and 6 from the Jacket 46. This give is going to be to Schamberger.
Look here, Greg. All right.
A great cutback by Schamberger. And you can see from that replay, or you can see from that play, Keith, that the Yellow Jackets took a real close look when Terrence had the ball, because they were definitely trying to strip that ball, and Terrence did an excellent job, to his credit, hanging on to the football. Watch right here how the tackler defender grabs the football only to pull Terrence down.
Now, of course, and that goes back to good coaching, Greg. They watched last week how Terrence was holding the ball loosely. Coach Davis told us that he had the ball a lot in practice this week, so I don't expect to see him fumble a lot.
Well, the Yellow Jackets win the first quarter 17-0, and we're going to be back in just a moment with the beginning of the second quarter.
The Sportsman Center has it all. Hunting, fishing, and camping. Everything for the outdoors. Tents to tackle, bows to canoes. Each department is staffed by a specially trained expert. Meet John Gallagher, certified gunsmith. John can repair or customize any gun, assuring you a perfect fit. So whether you're a beginner or a seasoned pro, our people can help you make the right choice. Find it all under one roof at the Sportsman Center, Highway 78 West in Jasper. We'll make it worth the trip.
Our competitors sell manufactured houses. We sell homes. At a time when you may not think you can have a home of your own, Jasper Mobile Home Brokers is offering a total home package. The home, lot, landscaping, septic tank, everything you need to have a beautiful home of your own, and it can all be financed in one low monthly payment. Let one of our professional representatives package the home of your dreams today at Jasper Mobile Home Brokers.
We're back here at Gambrell Cairo Field at the beginning of the second quarter. The Vikings have the ball 1st and 10 inside the Yellow Jacket 40 at the 38.
Well, Richie, you're down there close to the coaches. What are they telling the players?
They telling them they down, but they're not out, Greg. He's drawing it up. They're gonna get out there and they're gonna try to stop this offense. They had a couple of breakdowns, a couple of missed assignments. They're in this game, Greg. It's far from over.
It is far from over. 3 quarters left to play, and the Yellow Jackets with an early lead, 17-0 in this game. But as we say, 3 quarters yet to play, and the Vikings are driving for the first time in the game. So it's very big here for us to take the ball in, Keith, on this series. Kind of pivotal for us to do that, and then come back out and hold on a defensive series and score again.
Well, that's right, Greg. The Jackets have come out, and like I said, they made a big play to start with. And what they have done is got the momentum on their side. As Keith Jackson would say, old Mo has got the white shirt on right now. And the Vikings are trying to take it off. And, you know, they know they're a much smaller team, but they've got a lot of seniors. They know that they can come out here and compete. And I figure they're hoping that if they can get out here and get a big lead and get the Vikings down. But, Greg, I tell you, that's not going to happen.
Well, Keith, one thing that sometimes Walker players do not understand, and having coached them, I can say this with surety, is that they do not understand sometimes what it means for a county school to beat Walker. It means everything, and these Yellow Jacket players and fans are pumped sky high to beat the Walker Vikings. 1st and 10 from the 38. The give this time to Cox up the middle, running low to the ground. Cox is going to be across the 35 down to about the 31. Good gainer by Cox up the middle for some tough yardage. It's going to be 2nd down and 4.
Well, going back to what you were talking about, as we look at the replay here of Adam on that run, anytime there's several schools in an area and you've got one larger school, naturally all the smaller schools want to beat them because they feel like they don't have get the recognition that the larger school does.
2nd down and 4. This time the give is going to be kept by Brandon Porter. He's going to turn it up across the 25 for the 1st down. 1st down and 10 Vikings.
And Greg, that was a great play there by Brandon. He looked more like a seasoned veteran than a 10th grader. And look at it again, great fake. Of course, they had to pay attention to Cox. And that little fake out there to Mercer, and then a keeper for a 1st down. And that's all we've got to do, Greg. I think the coaches have got them settled down, said, listen, let's do what we do best. We can run the football on these guys, and they're going to leave somebody open, and we're going to throw a pass.
1st down and 10 for the Vikings inside the Curry 25. This time the give is to Schamberger, who cuts back up the middle, picks up a couple. It'll bring up a 2nd down and 8 from the 23.
Well, Greg, this is what we saw a lot of it. Now we're running the ball good enough, but they've got to pay attention to all the players in the backfield. Let's look at this play again. As you see, Mercer in motion, and The fake to Cox freezes the line just enough for Terrence to get in there and pick up 3 or 4 yards. And that's all we need, 3 or 4 yards a pop, and then we'll bust a big one in a minute.
2nd down and 8 now for the Vikings. Lee Ellis, the center, leading out over the ball now. Single back in the backfield. Pitch to Cox, the single back. He makes a good cut inside the 20 down to the 18, where it's going to bring up a 3rd down and about 3.
A big 3rd down here, Greg. A big 3rd down. We need to convert right here. We need to keep this ball on the ground, or not necessarily on the ground. We need to keep moving the ball. We need to keep this drive alive and get something out of it. Of course, there you see Adam coming in the room. They're ready for him right there. Great block.
Good blocking up front. Good block by Terrence. Good block there by John Miller. And on the other side of the football, number 62. Good blocking all the way around. 3rd down now and 3. This time the fake. Mercer has the ball around the right end, and he's got the 1st down inside the 15 down to about the 12. Good execution that time by Brandon Porter on the option.
Brandon is doing a great job like there. He's came in the game. He's shaking that off, and I tell you, the early interception, and it has just been a great, here, look at it again. Great play, great pitch. Reminds you of the great Oklahoma teams of the past, Greg. Wait till the last minute to ditch that ball off. Great job by the Vikings on that play.
1st down and 10 now for the Vikings at about the 14-yard line. In motion is Mercer. Cox is going to get the ball on the left side, and he is gang tackled after a pickup of about 2.
Well, Greg, it took everybody on the Curry defensive line to bring Adam down that time. And, of course, like I said, as long as we keep pounding the middle like that, that opens the outside up for Schamberger and Mercer. And these 3 players are going to keep pounding away at him.
Well, Greg, Keith,
yeah, go ahead, Rich.
They have so many threats in the backfield. I mean, once you establish the run, that's going to open the passing game up. That's going to open so much. So maybe after they're doing good on the ground, they got so many threats in the backfield. And once they establish this run, then they can open it up and start slinging it again.
This time we're going to have a penalty on the play. And I believe, Keith, a Viking may have jumped prior to the snap. And if that is the case, the Vikings will retreat 5 yards. The signal from the head official, and yes, the Vikings will be retreating 5 yards. So it'll be 2nd down and 13 instead of 2nd down and 8. And again, a mental mistake by the Vikings.
Greg, we've got to keep pushing this ball up the field. Of course, we're in field goal range. We have a good kicker in Taylor Mosley. The important thing right now, I'm sure the Vikings are thinking touchdown, but more importantly thinking, let's get something on the board. Let's get some points on the board. Come back and play good defense, and slowly but surely get back in this ball game.
More than anything here, the Vikings need to punch the ball in the end zone. Don't need to settle for a field goal. It's been a good, long, sustained drive, over 5 minutes now. Porter back to pass. It's the flare around to the outside.
What a play, Greg.
Great throw.
Beautiful.
Great call by the coaching staff on that, Keith. That's a safe route, because what you're doing is running a flare to the left side. The defensive back has his back turned, and if it's going to be caught by anybody, it's going to be caught by the receiver, so it's a good, safe route.
Let's watch it on replay here, Greg. Just a great play by Jay Pierce. I mean, look at that.
Just the fade route to the corner of the end zone. Pierce does a good job looking back to the ball, reaching up and catching it. And now the Vikings are going to have to spend a timeout because we don't have the correct personnel on the field for the point-after attempt. And again, Keith, I don't know if we have an injury or somebody couldn't make it out there, but not having 11 men on the field is a mental breakdown.
And Coach Davis talked to him on the sideline and let him know, you know, guys, little things like that is what's hurting you. But we've shown there you see Jay Pierce, a great play. What can you say about this kid, Greg? That was just a big league play right there.
Super play, and Coach Davis is very high on Jay Pierce, believes that one day he may be playing Division I football.
And make it a 7 points now. All right.
Taylor Mosley with the big foot kicks it through, and the Vikings now get on the in the second quarter. The score is 17-7 in favor of the Yellow Jackets with 8:17 remaining in the first half.
Greg, let's take a look ahead. to get ready. I think we need to take a break here in just a minute, catch our breath, and come back and look at some more football. See if this defense can come out, the offense came out and did what they needed to do. Well, I'll tell you what, they're already on the field. Let's go ahead and keep it here, Greg. Do this time. The defense has got to come out now and make some plays and shut this Curry offense down. And I think this is what we need. We had a long, sustained drive, the better part of about 4 or 5 minutes.
A little over 5 minutes on that drive, and that's good for the Vikings' sake because the defense got a chance to get off the field and go over some things with Coach Hart and hopefully make some adjustments to what Curry's doing so effectively. And this time it's going to be Andy Belot kicking instead of Johansson. And Belot is a little bit deeper kicker than Johansson. And our kickoff coverage is being an understatement to say that it has to be better than it was on the first kick. Belot kicks a line drive back to John Oliver, and John Oliver breaks a tackle to the ball. It comes straight up to a Yellow Jacket. And the Yellow Jacket recovers the football. That's number 1 for the Curry Yellow Jackets, Patrick Chambliss. The ball pops right into his hands. What an opportunistic play for the Yellow Jackets. And they'll take over first down and 10 from their own 22.
Well, I tell you what, Big Clay went in there like a madman on that play, number 55. Tearing through the front line. Let's see what
John Oliver having a difficult time corralling the football, and then a big hit coming up right here. Boom. And the ball pops up, and you see Chambliss take it in, and then he is brought down alertly by number 41 for the Vikings, Landon Howell.
Stud him up. That's what we've got to have, Greg. That's what we've got to have.
Big Mo may be changing sides, Keith.
Well, I would be surprised if old Mo had got that black and gold on right now, because I tell you what, the defense has came out. We saw this last week, Greg. The second half, they came out like a team possessed. Coach Hart really worked with these guys, got them, pumped him, and Coach Norwood, Coach Sasser, and they've already made their adjustments now, Greg. We're ready for a ball game.
Second down now on a long 9 after a very short pickup on first down. Again, the Yellow Jackets out of the eye. This time,
fumble.
There's a fumble. And now the Yellow Jackets, Keith, beginning to make some of the miscues that the Vikings were making early. And with that, they're going to lose about 6 or 7 yards. It's going to bring up a third down and 17.
Well, let's look at it right here, Greg. You'll see that a lot, the quarterback and running back. That's one of the hardest things when they're right there to give the ball to him. And I tell you, maybe there was a misprint on the schedule. The Vikings thought the game started at 8 o'clock tonight.
It may very well have been, because finally we have stepped up and started playing football like we expected. This time, Owens is open in the right flat and is going to run the football, but nowhere close to the first down. He's actually going to slip down behind the original line of scrimmage, and it's going to be 4th down and very long, and there is an injured Viking on the field. That's Lee Johnson, number 63.
Well, I tell you what, Greg, let's look at here. Great pursuit. Look at Mr. Gilliland just not giving up. And there, Ed Clay on the play. And I tell you what,
tackle to Cameron Cox.
If I saw Cameron Cox coming at me, I believe that I would have hit the ground too. Well, while we got this injured player, let's go ahead and take a commercial break, folks, and we'll be right back.
Flowers and blossoms are not the only things that change with the seasons of time. Today's family is constantly faced with never-ending adjustments. At Jasper's First Baptist Church, we care about your family. That's why we offer a dynamic teaching and preaching ministry designed to provide spiritual direction and stability for every member of your family.
We're back to live action. Key gets the punt off, and it's a high hanger. It's going to go back to Tremont Chapman. Chapman needs to get headed upfield, which he does. If he can get by this running room, excellent job.
Some great blocks.
Back out to midfield.
Just some great blocks on that play. I tell you what, Greg, you don't like to see your return man take that deep of a turn, but it can work if he can get back there enough and get the blocks. But here's the replay there. Of course, the Curry fans were roughing the kicker on that call, and there was no way it happened.
Chapman, all heart right here, Keith. Just a tremendous play. This kind of play right here wins athletic contests. this kind of play wins football games. A supreme effort by Tremont on that play to get positive yardage when it looked like he was going to get negative yardage. Great play, Tremont. Super effort.
And looks like Daniel Smith is down on the sidelines there, Greg. Number 20. I don't know if we can get a shot of it there from one of our 30-yard line cameras. Players surrounded around him down there, but I tell you what, that's something you don't want to see. And I think what it is, he's still enough on the field or close enough to the sidelines that they want to hold up play until they can move him out of the way. Maybe Richie can find out what, just exactly what's wrong.
We do have a lull in the action here with the injury. 6:17 remaining in the first half. The Yellow Jackets leading 17-7. They won the first quarter 17-0. The Vikings are winning the second quarter 7-0. With play continuing here, the Vikings will take over 1st and 10 at midfield when play does resume. We're sure hoping that Smith is all right. While we're waiting on an injury report, we're going to take this time out for a commercial.
Flowers and blossoms are not the only things that change with the seasons of time. Today's family is constantly faced with never-ending adjustments. At Jasper's First Baptist Church, we care about your family. That's why we offer a dynamic teaching and preaching ministry designed to provide spiritual direction and stability for every member of your family. This Sunday, bring your family to Jasper's First Baptist Church and let the unchanging gospel speak to your changing needs.
We're back to live action, Keith, and the officials just did a smart thing here. They've gone ahead and taken the heat timeout here because in the early games during the year, the heat timeout comes at 6 minutes into a quarter or halfway through the quarter, and so they've taken a heat timeout now, and both teams will go ahead and get a break. There you see Daniel's stats. He is a 6 foot, 187-pound sophomore, and we certainly don't like to see anyone injured. I believe, Keith, if I'm not mistaken, he was injured perhaps at the end of that play because he was standing on the field and hobbled over to the sideline before he went down.
Well, we'll see if we can get Richie. I see him right down there in the middle of it, as you saw our camera right in the middle of it. We'll see if we can find out exactly what happened to him, but it's good to see him up. And it could be one of those things, Greg, where he just hit that head and just did not know where he was. And you don't want to take chances like that.
Well, you can get knocked cuckoo sometimes. However, he's limping.
Well, I don't know whether he's limping or wobbly.
You may be right, Keith. He's awfully wobbly. So he may have gotten hit in the side of the helmet and stunned. He definitely is unsteady at this point.
Well, he's got some good folks looking at him down there. Bob White with Rehab South, one of our fine sponsors. And you look at Coach Junior Smith, ready to get his offense on track. And we'll find out from Richie here shortly just what's going on down there with Mr. Daniel, and we hope for the best.
We've had our heat timeout and our injury timeout, and the Vikings are going to take over for their second drive of the quarter, the last drive leading to their first 7 points, and hopefully this one will lead to 7 points. The give is going to be up the middle to Cox, and we got a little rough play going on here with the quarterback. That kind of thing can be flagged. It's not in this particular instance. Cox is going to pick up about 2 to 3 yards. You see Coach Jack Lehman, the trainer, talking to Daniel. And when you're looking into a player's eyes like that, trying to get him to follow your finger, it means he's taking a pretty good lick to the head.
That's right. He had a pretty tough collision over there, and it hurt his neck a little bit, but mostly he's just sort of knocked him still a little bit. So they're giving him some ammonia, and they're going to try to wake him up a little bit.
Of course, you've heard of Johnny on the spot, Greg. We got Rich on the spot, and of course, Terrence Schamberger was on the spot on that last play as the Curry defense was just all over that play.
A loss of a yard will bring up now a 3rd down and a long 8 after Schamberger loses yardage. Good play by the Curry defense that time. Schamberger not able to get around the end. Good lateral pursuit by the Yellow Jackets. Big call here for the Vikings to keep this drive alive, 3rd and 8. Good play calling in the last series for the Vikings. Be interesting to see what we have here. We've got twins to both sides, a single back. Adam Cox in motion is Mercer to the right. And we've got a flag before we get started. And the play clock has expired. it very likely is going to be delay of game against the Vikings.
Well, Greg, this is what we do not need. We do not need these top plays. It's killing us now. That changes your whole strategy where you could have ran or passed on 3rd and 8. Now at 3rd and 13, it's going to be pretty easy to call because 9 times out of 10, you're going to put that tater in the air.
And you see the official with the white cap winding his arm. When he does that, the play clock resets. Have a 25-second play clock, which means once he blows his whistle and winds his arm, you have 25 seconds to get the ball snapped. And what the Vikings did not do last time was get in under the time limit, so they had a delay. Porter back to pass, throwing to Flair out, and that would have been 7 points easily for the Yellow Jackets. Porter not reading the defense on that play and throws the ball right into double coverage. Consequently, the Vikings are going to be forced to punt after a 3-down-and-out series here midway through the second quarter.
Well, Greg, like I said, it goes back to a little execution. We're having trouble making a play, and a lot of it has to do with Curry is playing a lot of this first half on strictly emotion. They're making good plays. I don't want to say that it's all emotion, but that's a lot of this game right now is emotion. They've got the upper hand early. Let's see what we can do on this punt.
Dustin Myhan to snap. More than likely, you'll not see a fake here. Back to Cox. Curry playing for the return.
Good punt.
The kick is a low liner. It should take a good run. Touchdown! Vikings down to the 3 or 4 yard line, and we've got to see what the official is going to do, whether he's going to mark it for the Vikings or not. We'll have to see whether it's ruled a touch or not. And right now, there's been no indication of what it is. Apparently, the ball's going to stay with the Yellow Jackets. A dangerous play by the Curry returner to attempt to touch the football and pick it up. It's very, very difficult to tell. If we could replay that one more time and maybe slow it down a little bit more, we might be able to tell whether it kicked off with the Curry receiver or not.
Well, this is what we need right here, Greg. We need a big defensive stand right here. We've got it backed up.
Regardless of whether it did or not, the Yellow Jackets are going to take over on their 3 yard line. Here's the play again. It's just very difficult to tell. First down from the 3. Owens under center gets the key, and he is stopped by an excellent play. Bull Ferris, the sophomore linebacker, shoots the gap, gets in early, and stops Key actually for a loss.
Well, that was a good play right there. This is what we've got to do, Greg. We've got to be very cautious down here. The easy back up like this to just lay your ears back and go, but you don't want to give up the big play. You won't. Worst case scenario, you want them to have to punt out their own end zone.
3:57 now remaining in the half. The Yellow Jackets 2nd down and 10 from their 3. Owens back to pass, out in the flat, and it's going to be incomplete. Super coverage by Eddie Russell. The Curry coaches protest, but to no avail. It was great coverage. Eddie had him covered like a blanket.
Well, remember the rule of thumb on that play, Greg, is it's got to be a catchable ball. The ball landed well in front and to the out-of-bounds side of the receivers. We look at it here.
That's very helpful to the Vikings for 2 reasons. One, it brings up a 3rd down and long, and the other is it stops the clock with 3:46 remaining here in the first half.
But what we need right here, Greg, we need to be cautious. We need a big play by the defense right here.
3rd down and 10 now. And it may not be 3rd down and 10 any longer. It may be 3rd down and 5 after the Vikings jump yet again.
Greg, this is what we don't need. We've got it back there. We had our chance. And all I can figure, Greg, is the quarterback must be doing a good job out there changing the cadence to draw these players offside. Now, that changes everything right there. Now you've got a short 3rd down.
There's no excuse, Keith, after a half of football, and we've jumped now 3 or 4 times. There's no excuse for that this far into the game. There's just no excuse for that. 3rd down and 5 now for Owens, audibling at the line. He's going to pitch it to Goodwin.
Got him.
And he's going to be stacked up on
what a hit.
Defensive play.
Still going.
Goodwin breaks away from that big hit by Chris Williams, number 48. And thank goodness the pursuit stayed up. Number 44, Michael Munzie stayed after him and brought him down.
Let's look at here. Great. This is what we needed to do. We've cut their yardage in half by allowing them to have 35, but great penetration by the defense. Look at that, Greg. Goal shirts there everywhere.
But we failed to lock up, and consequently, the back Goodwin gets loose on the outside, but is brought down short of the first down. The punt is away by Key. It'll be taken by Chapman with return possibilities. He makes a good fake and then takes the ball inside the 35 to the 34. The Vikings will take over with 2:56 remaining in the half. 1st and 10 from the Yellow Jacket 34.
Well, I'll tell you what, Greg, that was a great defensive stand by the Vikings. Very easy. Could have been a 7-point turnaround there. Had that been ruled a touch by the player receiving the ball, but a great defensive stand. We needed that there. A good return by Tremont Chapman on that. Now, let's see what the offense can do with the ball with less than 3 minutes left in the first
Lee
half.
Ellis leads the offensive line out to the ball. Trips right, single back, Adam Cox. Porter under center, drops straight back to pass. Again, the fake route to Pierce, and he's forced out of bounds. There will be no flag.
No flag on that one.
Keith, it may go back to the rule that you stated a moment ago, that the official ruled the pass was thrown out of bounds and not catchable. And from this angle, it may be difficult to tell. It was a good route and a pretty good throw. And we see right here that I suppose that was the ruling, that it was an uncatchable
Either that
ball.
or there is also the rule of incidental contact. And, you know, both of them looking back for the ball, Greg. The play was there. We're going to hit that play again, I believe. Brandon Porter doing a great job with great touch on the ball.
2:52 remaining. Mercer in motion to the right. Pass out to Schamberger. Makes a good move. Gets through one tackler. Get out of bounds. He gets out of bounds at the 22-yard line. And it will be a first down for the Vikings. Good call there. Mercer in motion to the right gives us an extra blocker to the right. You're going to see Mercer coming right into your screen here. Porter will stand up, throw to Schamberger, and then we have 3 or 4 lead blockers. And Schamberger makes a great move and then wisely gets out of bounds.
That was a great decision by Dedrick Powell. He could have very easily made a clip right there, Greg. Chose not to make the block at all.
2:45 remaining now. Porter back to pass once again. This time got a man open. It's Schamberger. And the pass thrown a little bit behind him. Difficult to make that adjustment. And so Terrence not able to haul the pass in, so bring up a 2nd and 10.
Well, I tell you what, a great pass, and it was almost there. Look at it. He just got Terrence turned around a little bit. So close to hitting that play.
Keith, that's super camera work. All of our camera people doing a fantastic job. Great job by Rick down on the 30-yard line camera to cover that.
Philip and Tommy and Vonda doing a great job standing up with all this action.
2nd down and 10 now. Cox will receive the ball through the middle and just tripped up by number 18 for the Jackets. That's Rodney Walker. Otherwise, Cox has a first down, probably. As it is, he carries the ball down to the 18, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down and 7.
Well, as we look at it there, that's what the passing has set up right there. One play away from a big gainer there, Greg.
3rd down and 7. 2:10 remaining in the first half. The Vikings trail 17-7. Obviously a big 3rd down call here. 3rd and 10, only option. Cox is going to be out of bounds at the 15. It's going to be well short of the first down. 4th down and about 4 yards to go. And it's decision time for Coach Davis.
I think they're going for it, Greg.
It's one of those plays now that you call that you've worked on in a short yardage situation that you believe is the play that will get you the needed yardage. 4th down and 4 for the Vikings.
Both stands on their feet, Greg. Walker fans, Curry fans, everybody on their feet for this big play. Got it. It was there, Greg.
That was obviously the right play to call, Keith. It was wide open. And Sean Mercer, perhaps thinking a little soon to turn upfield, did not look the pass in all the way. And you can see there his head turned just a little bit. It's not for lack of effort. He certainly was trying to make the play. He didn't want to miss that pass, but he does, and that's going to give the Yellow Jackets the ball with 1 minute and 18 seconds to go in the first half. The Vikings still trail 17-7.
Well, Greg, if I'm Curry right here, I'm content with handing the ball off about 3 times. I'm going to the locker room with the 17-7 lead. Now, if I'm Walker, 10 points down, I'm not worried. They've moved the ball well. Go back and come back and regroup.
Goodwin gets the pitch.
Gilliland in
and
on the
carries the
tackle.
ball across the right side. There is a fumble, but it's blown dead. The ground cannot cause a fumble. The ball squirts loose, but it's blown dead by the official. Pickup of about 2 or 3 yards.
Here it is on replay. Walker defense hanging in there tough. Ricky Gilliland, great play.
Excellent pursuit. You see the ball come loose and Goodwin hit the ground, so that is not a fumble. 45 seconds remaining now in the first half. Curry leading 17-7. Owens audibly on this play, and he's just going to stand back and wait until the play clock runs out, I suppose, but there's a flag.
The delay of game.
Well, I don't understand that. There was 4 seconds remaining on the play clock, Keith. Evidently, the officials keeping the time on the field as well. And you see Coach Williams arguing that point with good reason. And maybe Richie can find out what the explanation for that was. I'm not sure that he can. He's across the way from the officials. But that's certainly an unusual play with the play clock showing plenty of time, and then the officials declare it a delay of game. Anyway, it's in the Vikings' favor with 35 seconds remaining in the half.
Well, Greg, what we want to do now, we want them to stay back. We don't want them to bust a simple play that can go for a long gain or get them down here and score before the half. We want to go ahead and shut them down, be content with a 17-7 game at the half, go in, settle down, defense, offense, split, and talk it off.
Really not going to hurt the Yellow Jackets any, Keith, so to speak, because it just simply reset the play clock to 25 seconds, and there's about a 7 or 8 second differential, so it won't matter, really. 12 seconds, 10 seconds, timeout by the Vikings with 9 seconds remaining in the half. It'll be 3rd down now and 12.
Well, Greg, I don't know if I would have probably might have just go ahead and let the clock run on out, go to the locker room. But then again, they hand the ball off. There's always a possibility of it fumbling, and if the ball pops up in the air and does not hit the ground, we can take it on into the end zone. And I'm sure that's what they're hoping for. Coach Hart out there on the field with the players right now saying, let's just don't do anything stupid. Let's lay back. Don't let them get by us with the deep ball. And, let's go to the locker room and regroup.
I have a pretty good idea. We were looking at a picture earlier of Coach Davis. I have a pretty good idea how he feels, Keith, having been in this situation before, not in football, but in basketball and baseball, both. And you don't like to come out and play poorly against a county rival. And Curry's come out playing very, very well. The Vikings not playing as well. Consequently, the Vikings trail. This time to give up the middle to Key. 5 seconds, 4 seconds, and the Vikings will take another timeout, their final timeout, and force the Yellow Jackets to either punt or simply snap it back and run around with it and fall down, which would be my guess. With 4 seconds remaining, you could certainly do that.
The key is he is going to have to do it quick. Do it, draw it as much time as you can, because if he drops back, as his knee hits the ground, Greg, the ball stops. We have one more shot at least to get a field goal. If he tries to throw a Hail Mary, throw something deep, you got the chance of interception. So it's going to be tricky to see what happens here. Of course, Coach Williams, I think he's got about 4 quarterbacks in his family, and so he probably knows a little bit about what to do in these situations.
I think so, and obviously the Yellow Jackets are well prepared for tonight's game. An excellent game plan, mixing the pass and run very well, capitalizing on special teams mistakes by the Vikings. And with 4 seconds remaining in the half, they will take the snap and hand off to Key up the middle. And the half will expire. Time will expire with the Curry Yellow Jackets leading 17-7. There's a half of football left to play. And if the Vikings are going to win this game, they're going to have to go in at halftime and really sharpen up mentally and get ready to come out the second half and play really Keith an excellent second half of football.
Of course, we'll see if we can get a shot of it. Coach Davis out there on the field conferring with officials right now, Greg. I don't know what they're talking about. I'm sure it has something to do with the clock. But maybe Richie can find out and have a report for us right after halftime. But first, it's time for us to take a commercial break. Then we'll come back with the McDonald's halftime presentation of the Walker High School Band. So, folks, if you want to see a great halftime show, stay with us. We'll be right back with the Walker High School Band.
The citizens of Jasper complain about the city street and right-of-way maintenance, the playgrounds and parks. There is enough money, but not enough direction to correct these problems. I will correct them. In northern Alabama, during the last 10 years, Cullman, Tuscaloosa, Gadsden, and Scottsboro have moved ahead, while Jasper, with a growing tax base, has slipped in both economic and quality of life standards. Isn't it about time that we take a stand and make a change in leadership?
It might not be easy to talk to kids today, especially about marijuana. But if you don't do it, who will?
What do you do when both your car and stomach are running on empty? You visit Parkway Amoco at Parkway Plaza on Highway 78 in Jasper. At Parkway Amoco, they offer high-quality Amoco gas for your vehicle. And just so your stomach doesn't feel left out, Parkway Amoco has all types of food and drinks to ease your hunger pains. So to take care of your car's empty tank as well as your own, visit Parkway Amoco in the Parkway Plaza on Highway 78 in Jasper. And watch for the opening of the new Crystal Baskin Robbins coming soon to Parkway Plaza.
If you're looking for the best selection and price for building materials, then you need to travel to Macedonia and visit Duncan General Merchandise. Duncan's has been in business for over 38 years, and they specialize in bargains such as siding, flooring, molding, lumber, insulation, plywood, blocks, paint, doors, and pressure-treated pine. You name it, and you can find it at Duncan's. And remember, they will deliver your merchandise. For the best in building materials, remember Duncan General Merchandise just off Highway 5 North in Macedonia.
Today's busy people frequently eat outside the home. To eat healthy, there is no better place than Victoria's in the Jasper Inn. Each day, Kerry Boyd and his staff prepare a large selection of healthy meats and vegetables for your eating pleasure. To help you decide what to eat, Victoria's Food Fax Service will automatically send each day's menu directly to your home or office fax machine. Pick out your day's meal, then join the hundreds of people who have found the best place to eat in Jasper. Victoria's in the Jasper Inn.
You need utility features and pulling power at all four corners. The Timberwolf 4x4 delivers. With full-time four-wheel drive, McPherson strut front suspension, the industry's only integrated cargo racks, a trailer hitch, and more, all standard. Work may still be a four-letter word, but with the Timberwolf 4x4, it can sure be a whole lot easier.
The employees and staff of Jasper Industrial Maintenance Supply would like to wish Coach Bubba Davis and the Walker Vikings the best of luck this season as they pursue the 6A State Football Championship. Go get 'em, Vikings. We're behind you all the way.
It's time to decide what direction your future will take. Now, without leaving Walker County, you can start down the path toward a career certificate, an associate degree, or a 4-year college education. By picking up the phone and calling UAB Walker College, you will take the first step toward a quality education at one of the nation's finest universities. The kind of education employers are looking for, and at a price that's lower than you think. Call 387-0511 for details to a brighter future.
welcome back, folks, to Gambrell Cairo Field. We're at halftime where the Walker Vikings trail the Curry Yellow Jackets 17-7. It's now time for the McDonald's Viking halftime presentation, brought to you each and every week by McDonald's with locations in Jasper, Dora, and Adamsville. Let's go to the band and hear a great halftime show.
Drop
Today's busy people frequently eat outside the home. To eat healthy, there is no better place than Victoria's in the Jasper Inn. Each day, Kerry Boyd and his staff prepare a large selection of healthy meats and vegetables for your eating pleasure. To help you decide what to eat, Victoria's Food Fax Service will automatically send each day's menu directly to your home or office fax machine. Pick out your day's meal, then join the hundreds of people who have found the best place to eat in Jasper. Victoria's in the Jasper Inn.
Carl Cannon, Chevy Old, Central Alabama's truck headquarters, shuts out the competition with a triple play. A new S-Series LS, what a catch at $11,995. Flip to an S-Series LS Extended Cab, an All-Star at $13,495. And the Eddie with a 3-door LS Extended Cab, only $13,995. All with air, AM, FM, cassette, and more. 1, 2, 3 away. A triple play, only at Carl Cannon, Chevy Olds in Jasper. Give us a shot.
People judge the quality of your business partly by the quality of your sign. To make that perfect first impression, you need a sign from Speedy Signs and Banners. We have state-of-the-art equipment that produces multicolored vinyl signs for every situation. We have Alabama's largest vinyl cutter, so we can make your signs as big or as small as you need. And Speedy Signs and Banners can duplicate your logo or trademark perfectly. We're in Boldo, but you can call us from anywhere at 384-1060. Speedy Signs and Banners.
Rehab South is an orthopedic sports and home rehab provider of physical therapy and athletic training services in the Northwest Alabama area. They are staffed by registered physical therapists, licensed physical therapists and assistants, and certified athletic trainers. Located in the Southern Orthopedic and Sports Medicine Complex, Rehab South is equipped with state-of-the-art testing and exercise equipment to help patients of all kinds to recover to their fullest potential. So whether it's for a one-time instruction or a comprehensive program, Rehab South is here to serve the physical rehabilitation needs of Northwest Alabama.
Mayor Penn Woods, Council President Sonny Posey, and Councilmen Dode McLaughlin, Johnny Rollins, Lee Swan, and Ed White are pleased to support the city's only high school football team, the Walker Vikings. Coach Bubba Davis and his staff are actively building character in their players as they seek a championship season. Regardless of this season's outcome, the fine young men on the Vikings team will always be champs in the eyes of our citizens.
Bob Wilson, Jr., a lifelong Alabamian. As a state senator, he fought hard for education and job training and cast a key vote to preserve nursing home funding for older Alabamians. Bob Wilson, Jr., he'll stand up to Newt Gingrich when he tries to cut our Medicare, Social Security, and student loans. A fighter in the tradition of Tom Bevel, Bob Wilson will work to balance the budget, but not on the backs of older Alabamians or our working families. Bob Wilson, Jr., common sense leadership in the Tom Bevel tradition.
If you're looking for the best price on a new Toyota or GMC truck, it's at John Crump Toyota GMC in Jasper, where we'll do whatever it takes. I guarantee it.
Second half of football, the Walker Vikings trailing the Curry Yellow Jackets 17-7. It's a game played in halves, though. And the Curry Yellow Jackets got the better of the first half. Let's hope this second half is in the Vikings' favor.
Well, Greg, it can't start out much worse than what the start of the game did. First of all, we're getting the ball first to start the game. There you see the score, 17-7, and we're underway.
Brad Key kicks this ball, and it's going, oh my goodness, what a, well, Jay Pierce making a hustling play, and hustles, and the officials are conferring about whether the ball was out of bounds before he touched it or after he touched it, and we'll have to see what they're going to decide, but Jay perhaps should have elected to allow that ball to sail on out of bounds and take it on the 35. Again, Coach Williams choosing to kick the ball away from Walker's dangerous return men. And we're going to see where they're going to spot this football. It will either be at the point where it went out, and that's what's going to happen.
Well, Greg, that's something that you don't have to do. It was going to be questionable. Let's look at it. It's hard to tell from this angle because we're shooting across the field. It was just a matter of not thinking. And, you know, a lot of times that'll happen when you're this far down in the ball game, Greg. 10 points. You want to make something happen so quick, but, hey, 20-yard line, that's just like the kick going into the end zone. Let's play ball.
First down and 10 now. Porter at quarterback. Gives up the middle to Cox. He's got a couple of yards stacked up there. Second down now and 8 for the Vikings. It's very important, Keith, for the Vikings here to take the football and drive it the length of the field for a score.
Well, that's what they've got to do. They've come out and decided they're going to run the ball right up the gut. Curry ready for it, looks like, Greg. This is going to be a battle this second half for the Vikings to get back into it.
Brandon Porter, again, at quarterback, starting the second half. Waldrop started the game, played a couple of series. It's been Porter since that time. This time he fakes the option and does make the pitch, and Cox is going to be out across the 25 to the 28.
And another yellow flag, Greg.
So far in the game, Keith, I think there has been one flag, maybe no flags against the Yellow Jackets. They've all been against the Walker Vikings. At the clip, we're probably going to see or be able to see right there. And it was a push in the back, and that'll back the Vikings up 15 yards from the point of the foul.
Of course, the good side of it is he was well beyond the line of scrimmage when it happened. The bad part is that's just tacks more yardage on, makes it more difficult to get a sustained drive going.
Walker not starting the second half the way Coach Davis would have wanted his team to. Obviously, you want to start out the second half doing things right. A miscue on the kickoff, a major distance penalty, and now it's second down and 15 inside the Viking 15.
Shots of the lovely Viking cheerleaders there on your screen. Hopefully next week we'll start being able to feature some of them, Greg.
And you can see that it is a cooler night because the cheerleaders have their jackets on. This time the fake to Cox up the middle, and it is a give to Cox, and he's going to be stopped at that point after maybe a gain of a yard. Third down now and 14.
Well, Greg, the Yellow Jackets are coming out right where they left off the first half. Strong, hard-fighting defense, you know, and it's making it rough to get something going. Of course, had we not had the penalty, we were in position to maybe sustain a drive.
A draw play that goes nowhere because of good defense by the Yellow Jackets. Brad Key, linebacker, fullback, making the stop. Third down and long now. Mercer in motion to the right. Porter straight back to pass. Will elect to throw now.
Looky here, fantastic catch. And a flag on top of
Sean Mercer.
Boy, that's what you call big-time clutch play. What a pass by Porter. Threw it out there enough where only his receiver could get the ball. A great, great presence of mind by Mercer.
Keith, I'm not for sure, but I believe that may have been a screen play, and Curry was able to detect that, and the screen was not there, so Porter threw the ball down the field, and Mercer made an outstanding grab, just like he did last week against midfield, and it's plays like that that will win this football game. And if you recall the first half, Sean dropped a pass that was an easy pass to catch that would have given him a first down and perhaps later a touchdown. This time, Keith, a much tougher play, and he makes it.
Well, I tell you what, Greg, that's what we've got to do. Get something to get this crowd into the ball game, get them excited, and that will feed down to the players.
First down and 10 from the 44. Schamberger around left end. Going to cut back against the grain.
One block. He's gone, Greg. He's got looking out there blocking for it. What a play, Greg.
Carries the ball inside the 20-yard line after a couple of very good blocks.
And did you see who was running downfield making the block, Greg? The quarterback, number 10, Brandon Porter. That's what you call a total team effort right there.
It's great.
That's what these Vikings have got to do.
Great to see Brandon pumped up like that, leading his team. Great cutback right here by Terrence. Presence of mind to cut back across the field. LaRon Clay making a block there to spring him. Here comes Brandon Porter leading the way. He's going to make a block so that Terrence can get about 10 extra yards right there. Just a fantastic job. First down and 10 inside the 20 for the Vikings. This time Mercer around right in, makes a couple of good cuts.
Yeah, all right.
Down inside the 10 and down at the 7-yard line.
Well, Greg, I tell you what, this team has come out fired up. This is what they need. You know, we saw it last week with Midfield. They came out second half and took control of the game. This is what we've been expecting them to do. This is what we've been waiting to happen. And referee taking a timeout quick must have some kind of...
There is an official's timeout. Across the way, the yard markers they're having a bit of difficulty with the chains. But they're gonna not having any difficulty. They're gonna measure for the first down.
And look at this crowd. I tell you what, and I want to commend Rick Woods did a great job a while ago following that play of Schamberger up the line there. Greg, I tell you what, this kid, look at first down, Walker, Vikings.
And goal. At the 7-yard line, Keith.
Of course, the good thing of that is you're close enough to score in one quick play. The bad thing, Greg, you can't get a first down. I mean, this is... it's a tough situation in a way.
Lee Ellis leads the offensive line to the ball. First and goal from the 7. Mercer in motion, gets the ball. He's around right in, makes a good cut back to the inside, down to about the 3, where it's going to be second and goal from that point. Call it the 4-yard line.
Excuse me there, Greg. A great running right there. Of course, you saw Philip Watson there bringing it right into the 11 room. We'll probably watch him right from the line. Here we go.
Mercer with his head up, making a good cut. Again, a step away from scoring. There's a lot of talk of Adam Cox, and there's no doubt about the fact that Adam Cox is a great back. But the Vikings have what we like to call the triple threat, with Mercer and Schamberger also sharing the backfield. This time to give it to Cox up the middle, touchdown. Adam Cox up the middle, bobbing and weaving and picking his hole. Excellent job by the offensive line, Keith.
Well, I tell you what, Greg, we have got a ball game now, son.
Excellent
here
job.
It is coming, replay right to Adam.
Look at the blocking up front. Nobody touched him.
I tell you what, we heard last week, I'm talking about that offensive line. Dustin Myhan, Lee Ellis, and crew doing a great job down there.
Kelly Richardson doing a good job up there also.
I tell you, I'm excited there. You see him. Look at here, Greg. Now we have a 3-point ball game.
Taylor Mosley boots it through.
And a good picture of Adam right there.
There's Adam Cox, the spiritual leader of the team.
Let's get a shot of the crowd if we can, somebody. Look at there. You talk about, folks, we have a whole new ball game here. Let's take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back to more Walker Viking football.
Actually, I'm tired, though.
Oh, here we go again.
I drove all day. And now I'm knocking and pinging.
I don't care.
You don't care that I knock and ping.
It's not that I don't. Well, actually, no, I don't care.
Do you know why I knock and ping?
Why?
Because I need a higher octane gas.
So?
But you get Chevron Supreme with Techron. I can't believe that.
Because I'm a car that's designed for high octane.
But I'm the one that's knocking and pinging.
Whose fault is that?
It's not mine.
Yes, it is.
No, it isn't.
Yes. No premium outperforms new Chevron Supreme with Techron. Chevron, simply smarter.
Yes. No.
Yes.
No, it isn't.
Yes.
We're back to live action. 8:39 remaining in the third quarter. If the second half plays to form, Keith, the Walker Vikings will win the football game. The Yellow Jackets won the first half. The Vikings take a 7-0 lead in the second half. They still trail by 3 points, but they draw first blood in the second half. And let's hope that the special teams picks it up here.
Well, Greg, we overcame a major distance penalty right there, a personal foul to come back. They kept their cool and drove the ball. Great passing by Brandon Porter to Mercer a while ago, and then Adam Cox capping it off after some great runs by Schamberger and Mercer.
The kick down to Goodwin, and better kickoff coverage this time. Goodwin stopped at about the 28, returns about 20 yards.
Oh, we got an injury down there, looks like, Greg, right in front of us. We see it on the screen there, working on someone down there. We'll see if we can find out who that is. You hate to see that. Maybe we can find out. We'll find out from old Super Rich down there and see if we can find out who it is.
That's Daniel. That's the one that got hurt in that collision earlier in the game. They've already replaced him in all the special teams and the other things he's involved with, but they're just not going to take any precautions. They're going to put him in a neck brace and make sure he's okay.
Owens under center, out of the eye, gives to Goodwin, and he's stacked up
bingo!
And brought down at the line of scrimmage for no gain by senior linebacker number 48, Chris Williams.
Yeah, great play. I tell you what, we saw this from Coach Hart last week, Greg. The defense went in and look at it right here. That's what you call, I remember back years ago, the Bear Bryant show, bingo, right there, buddy. It was a big time. That's what the defense has got to do. The offense came out and said, hey, we've done our part. Let's take this game back. We've got the fans here. Let's win this thing like we're supposed to.
Henry Swindle doing a good job of standing his man up to force that play down the line of scrimmage to give the linebackers time to react. Second down now and 12. The play clock down to 1. Owens gets it away. It is a pass play. Got a man open across the middle. Overthrown. Flag on the play. That ball's not catchable. There's no way that the receiver can catch that ball.
Greg, it was obvious had the ball been down that it was interference. But like you said, let's look at here. The ball was not catchable. The ball has got to be a catchable ball for the penalty to be enforced.
You're going to see on the replay that this ball is about 5-6 yards over the head of the receiver. There's no way he can catch that ball.
I believe I would have to question that. But obviously, it don't matter what we think. The officials are making the call, and you can hear the Walker fans hear their support. There, a bunch of fine young Walker supporters, Greg.
Some of the Walker Viking faithful, some of my former students there, cheering the Vikings on. First down and 10 after that penalty against the Vikings for pass interference. First and 10, Owens straight drop. And there's going to be a holding call. This play will come back, folks. There's holding in the middle of the line. It's thrown by the head judge. Anytime a flag is thrown by the head judge, you can rest assured it's going to be holding. And the thing is, Keith, it's from the spot of the foul, which is going to back this up probably 12 to 15 yards.
You can see it, and really it probably wasn't a bad play because Rick Gilliland had eyes on Shane Owens, and it was not looking good. A great play by the defense. And like you said, the bad thing is catching the ball behind the line of scrimmage. And hello, folks. Of course, you can see us up here with great angle of action with our ace, Tommy Watson, here giving you the great 50-yard line shot. The ball, the penalty coming behind the line like that makes it even worse, Greg.
From it was very obvious. The foul, Keith, that's going to move the ball back inside the Curry Yellow Jacket 25-yard line to the 24.
I would say they probably have to get to Parrish to get a first down.
So they're now looking at a first down and 27. First and 27 for the Yellow Jackets from their own 24. Owens back to pass across the middle, and a great defensive play by Tremont Chapman, blanketing the receiver and knocking the ball away at the last instant.
Now that was nothing but a great defensive play right there, Greg. He waited to the last second, came over and got his hand in front and hit the ball. Had he not been able to get up and touch the ball, it probably would have been a pass interference call. Let's look at it right here.
Good job knocking the ball away, Tremont. Senior leadership. Again, the Yellow Jackets out of the eye. Two receivers to the right. This time, Owens on a straight drop back.
Got him, get him.
Gonna be, the ball is loose, the ball is loose. Owens goes down, the Yellow Jackets Jackets retain the ball, but it's going to be another loss. It's going to be 3rd down now and forever. I can't count that high, Keith.
Well, Greg, I guess this would be a good time to remind everyone that this is a Jasper Quarterback Club production, and we are being paid and compensated by the Jasper Quarterback Club. We are the Walker Vikings announcers. We are the voice of the Vikings, and this is our team that we're announcing for right now. Great defensive play by the Walker Vikings.
There was a holding call that was missed as you saw them haul Stan Norfleet down, but that's all right because it's another loss. It's 3rd down and way, way, way back there. This time Owen's just going to let it go. He's got a man open, and the catch is made. Keith, on a play like that, a defensive back with 3rd down and long absolutely does not allow the receiver to get behind him. You keep the receiver in front of you. You don't allow something like that to happen.
I guarantee you, Coach Norwood is probably talking to him right now. Great camera angle right there, and a great pass by Shane Owen.
Terrence Mitchell on the coverage. He's a senior, and you would expect out of a senior that he would know by now not to let something like that happen. It's a big play for the Yellow Jackets now. 3rd down and very long yardage. Now they have a 1st down in Viking territory at the 45. The pitch to Goodwin. He's going to be brought down, and there's a face mask coming up. Another penalty now against the Vikings.
Getting a little sloppy right now. That big play, and that, you know, you have a team deep, 3rd and 33. You've got to shut them down right there, Greg. You don't want to give up a 1st down play, and that happened. And we had, let's see, is that Owen still down?
It is a Curry player. We cannot pick up a number at this point.
They're working on a leg. May just be a cramp, Greg. I can't tell.
It does look like a cramp from here, Keith.
And, of course, even though we've had some cool weather, it's still, these fellas have not been practicing quite as long as they have in the past because school started about this year, the time practice started, Greg, which cut out a lot of the two-a-days. And it's still hard to get these guys in the best physical shape this quick to play a ball game.
The Vikings are going to be penalized here, 15 yards for the face mask. And that's not something you do intentionally, obviously. Reaching and grabbing for a back, trying to bring him down. Sometimes your hand's going to get stuck in the face mask and you grab and pull. And in spite of everything, what you do is you grab the face mask, and it's a penalty, and with good reason, because it's a very dangerous kind of play.
Now that's Kerry Goodwin down on the ground, Greg. The starting running back for Curry. Let's go ahead and take a quick commercial break while he's down. We'll be right back, folks.
At Star Automotive, we know how to use our legs too. We'll walk right out onto the lot and show you the finest selection of quality automobiles and pickup trucks in Northwest Alabama. You'll be the star when you select a car from Legs Kilgore, Legs Williams, and the guys at Star Automotive on Viking Drive in Jasper.
Back to the action with 6:14 and the clock running. The Yellow Jackets now 1st down and 10 at the Viking 27. This give is going to be faked up.
Fumble! Vikings ball, Greg!
The Vikings should be on top of the football. No signal. Recovered by Curry.
Oh, I thought we had the ball there, Greg, unless they called the ball down.
No gain on the play.
We got a good angle of it right here. Let's look on the replay and see. Great pursuit by the defense. There's the ball.
Well, there was...
it may have just squirted out. Of course, it's damp out there. And them big old linemen jump on the ball, Greg. It's going to squirt sometimes.
Keith, we have the heat timeout here midway through the 3rd quarter with the Vikings trailing 17-14. So with the heat timeout, we're also going to take a timeout. We'll be back to live action in just a moment.
Art makes you feel at home in the world. And that's what I want this collection to be. I want it to make you feel at home in the world. I want it to make you feel like, you know, it's got a little smile to it.
Alexander Julian Home Colors by Universal. A vintage look for the 90s.
Yeah, I think I'll take it.
Okay, my staff and I will be over this afternoon to bring out all of your furniture and to work in all of your accessories.
We're back here to live action, 5:46 remaining in the third quarter. The Vikings trail 17-14. Second down and 10 for the Yellow Jackets, deep in Viking territory at the Viking 27. Shane Owens still at quarterback. Goodwin out of the game at the moment, suffering leg cramps. Owens back to pass, a strong rush, a man open in the end zone, and it's incomplete. Coverage there by the Vikings' best defensive back and their team leader in the defensive backfield, Tremont Chapman.
And of course, Greg, the Curry fans and coaches wanting interference on that call, but that was just a great defensive play right there. Let's look at it.
Good coverage.
I mean, that was just an overthrown pass.
Shane Owens has passed the ball effectively for the Yellow Jackets, and I've been impressed. As few snaps as he took last year, Keith. He's really playing an excellent ball game to this point. Third down now and long for the Yellow Jackets. They've been in this situation before. Owens back to pass.
They got him,
Strong
Greg.
rush.
Got him, hit him. Oh,
we didn't lock on.
Good. Got him for a long.
Lock on.
Big play, though, Greg. Big
Gillen,
play.
Stan Norfleet back in the backfield. Fred Poe. Anthony Fleming, better known as Red Man, finally corrals Goodwin after a loss of 4. So it's going to be 4th down and 14, and you can bet the farm that the Yellow Jackets will go for it in this situation.
Well, I tell you what, the explosiveness, there's Goodwin coming back in the game. As we look, great defense. Gilliland through there first. Of course, we highlighted him last week and talked about him, number 75. A great game thus far tonight, Greg.
Third down now and another long situation. Two receivers split wide right out of the I backfield for Owens. Faking the pitch right. Throw across the middle to the tight end. The ball is caught, but the Yellow Jackets will turn the pass over on downs. Will turn the ball over on downs to the Vikings.
Look at the crowd. The crowd's going crazy now, Greg. The defense came up with big plays. They dug themselves in a hole right there, and that's what we need. We need this crowd energized, and in this ball game, there we saw the end of the play, the great defensive stand by the Vikings. Big play, a quick popper right across the middle. You know, didn't need but 15. Great job.
The Vikings will take over at their own 21. This is about where the opening drive started. Richie, have you been able to find out if the Vikings made any sort of adjustments at the half?
Greg, I haven't found out yet. The coaches have been real busy, and I haven't wanted to disturb them. But I'll find out for long.
I can't say that I blame him.
This time the give is up the middle to Adam Cox. A couple of tough yards right up the middle, and it'll be second down and 8.
Well, Greg, this is how we started the last time. A little played Cox, a little short gainer up the middle, and then we worked the ball to Schamberger and Mercer. Drove the ball downfield. A great third down play with Porter to Mercer earlier. Let's see what we can do on this drive.
They have a timeout on the official. A Curry player goes off the field and may have a shoulder pad that needs restrapping. It'll be second down and 8 now for the Vikings. And this is about the point last week, Keith, where we saw the Vikings' depth begin to wear down the midfield Patriots. It'll be interesting to see how the Yellow Jackets hang in there now late in the game. Mercer around the right end. If he gets a block, he can be loose.
Oh, what a move! What a move!
There. And Mercer's going to be out across the 40 to the 42. That play has been extremely effective for the Vikings. And I would guess that we'll be running that play several more times tonight to Mercer because of his quickness.
Of course, that's number 2, Sean Mercer. He made some big plays last time around as we look at it here on replay.
Excellent lead block.
Oh, what a block by Cox on that. Did you see that? And what
Adam
this move?
Cox blocking, John Miller blocking, and there's a timeout on the field, Keith. Well, let's see who's taking the timeout. I didn't get the indication of who's taking the timeout, but there is a timeout on the field. So with 3:57 remaining in the third quarter, we're going to take a break in the action.
What happens when hard-charging, chest-pounding guys get together for a friendly game of no-foul full-court ball? Somebody's gonna get creamed. Clotheslined. Feasted. Full-housed. Waxed. And since these desk jockeys aren't always up to the punishment, there's Sports First, athletic health care dedicated to sports injuries. Because sooner or later, somebody's gonna get hurt.
Back at the field, you see Coach Bryant Smith, or better known as Junior, out out on the field with his offensive team right now moving the football. And I know that Coach Smith have to get him off the field so that we can, I'm sure he might like to get back there and take a few snaps.
Well, of course, for the folks who don't know it, Coach Smith coached a pretty famous little quarterback in his days at high school. Coach, I'll tell you right after this play.
First down and 10 for the Vikings from the 42. Straight back, drop straight back, long pass now by Porter for Pierce is incomplete.
And that was a great play by Pierce there, becoming the defender on that play, Greg. Back to Coach Smith, though. Of course, a lot of Alabama fans will remember this player. He played for Florida, made a big play in the championship game. Shane Matthews played for Coach Junior Smith down, I believe it's at Pascagoula.
That's correct.
And there you see the replay, you know. Got another couple quarterbacks down here, got some pretty good arms like Mr. Matthews.
Pierce had a step on the defensive back. The ball slightly underthrown. Brandon gets a little bit more air under that. It may be 6. This time the give is going to be to Cox up the middle, bobbing and weaving out across the 50 into Yellow Jacket territory at the 48, a pickup of 6. Second down and 4, or third down and 4 now for the Vikings from the Curry 48-yard line.
I'll tell you what,
correction, Keith, that's we're on our own 47. I was looking at the wrong side of the 50, so we're on our own 47.
Well, we were trying, weren't we? They saw some great blocking by that offensive line. And like I say, this is where the tail of the tape's going to come, Greg.
3:40 remaining in the third quarter. Third down and 4. The give to Mercer, and he's got the first down and more.
Look at here.
Hello,
number 2, Sean Mercer has put it on a show, and now you see empty seats on the Viking side, Greg. That's because folks are cheered up. They're watching this team come to life. They're watching this team make a presence known in Walker County.
Lead block there again.
Just ran over number 14. Threw him.
Sean Mercer, after missing that pass, and Keith, I said last week, and this holds true, Sean Mercer weighs 150 pounds, and 140 of that is heart. Well, and that pass he missed in the first half, he has not forgotten that, and he's making up for it this second half.
Great blocking by Lee Ellis on that play there.
Adam Cox, met at the line of scrimmage by 2 or 3 Yellow Jackets, will be dropped for a loss. So it'll be second down now and long.
Well, I tell you what, Greg, that's about the only way Adam's going to come down. It's going to take 2 or 3 players to tackle him. There you see Mr. Mercer, running back 5'9", junior, Greg. That means this young man to be back next year. Miss Gail Mercer, I tell you what, she's got a lot to be proud of tonight because this young man has put on a show.
His plans are to play pro football, and who knows? Puts on a few more pounds. He's got the speed and the quickness right now in the heart. So anything's possible for Sean. Second down and long. Porter back to pass. Throw right in the numbers of number 9, Dedrick Powell. And Powell not able to hang on to Porter's pass and threaded it right through there to him, Keith. Excellent pass.
Well, a lot of times, Greg, that's the hardest ones to catch, is the ones that hit you right in the numbers. You know, I've seen players make great catches, but it's so easy not to concentrate on the ball in. And, of course, you know, Brandon put a little bit of heat on that ball, too. And like I said, that's the hardest ones to catch, the ones that are supposed to be the easy ones.
Good job by the offensive line, giving Porter enough protection. Third down and 13 from the Yellow Jacket 42. Interesting play call here. Straight drop back pass by Porter, lofting it up for Pierce. Pierce is not going to be able to get to it, just slightly overthrown. He was open. There's a flag on the play. And as always, when a flag is thrown in that area of the field, Keith, it's going to be holding 9 times out of 10. Curry player injured on that play. We'll see what the call is going to be, but my guess is it's holding, and that is the case. The Yellow Jackets more than likely will decline.
Oh, just so close as you see on the replay right there. Well, Greg, let's go ahead and take a quick commercial break right now while they're working on this player, number 74 for Curry, and we'll be right back.
There's a great explorer.
The Sportsman Center is like having dozens of shops under one roof. Everything you need for any sport. Like famous brand apparel for the serious sportsman to the fashion conscious. Huge selections of athletic footwear from hiking boots to aerobics. Plus, we're headquarters for team sports, supplying major universities, high schools, Little League, and more. Our people are skilled and happy to help with your selection. Visit the Sportsman Center, Highway 78 West in Jasper. We'll make it worth the trip.
And back here, we're still in the timeout right now with the injured Curry player, Greg. And, of course, the Vikings facing a 4th and 13.
4th and 13, and Coach Davis has sent onto the field the punt team. The injured Curry player, number 74, Brad Akins, appears to be okay, shaken up a bit. And as we've said earlier, a lot of these Curry players play both ways. And with it being late in the quarter, then you're going to see maybe a few more leg cramps, a little bit more tiredness. Curry playing for the return. Cox boots this ball. It's going to be inside the 10.
Get it. Almost, Greg. Whoa, it stayed in bounds.
We'll see what the call is going to be. It's
Walker
again
football.
up to the officials. No signal yet.
Walker football.
Walker football. Special teams, Keith. Special teams.
Well, I tell you what, Greg. Big teams make big plays, and that's what we needed right there. As you see some of the players coming off the field, a great job.
Well, they've changed the signal now, Keith. They've changed the signal, and it's Curry's football.
Oh, well, I guess.
Coach Davis will want an explanation for this, and he will get one if we can get the camera down on Coach Davis right now, meeting at about the 24-yard line with an official. Coach Davis is there trying to get the explanation, and hopefully Richie can get an explanation for that.
Well, let's see if we can see it here, Greg. I thought we had the ball. We've got the ball right there, Greg. Now, I don't know what happened, but
it's Curry's football because the officials say so. 1st and 10, the pitch to Goodwin around the right side, and he has a pickup of about 3. 2nd down and 7. Richie, you might just comment on Goodwin's condition. He had cramps, and usually when you get leg cramps early, you're going to continue to have them the rest of the night.
Yeah, Greg, on that call right there, the only thing the referee said was nobody ever gave the signal that was Walker's ball. Everybody just assumed it.
Well,
Well, you know, now that you mentioned it, I just saw him hold his hands up, and I guess maybe, you know, that's when you play at home, you try to get the crowd into it, maybe influence the call a little bit.
Well,
but it didn't work that time.
The Walker player certainly thought it was there.
All right, back him up. And that's what you're taught to do right there, Greg. As soon as one of those offensive linemen move, you hit him. You don't give them a chance. Let's look at it right here on the replay. Don't know if you can see it. They moved, and boy, that's what you do right there.
Curry making a mistake that has a mistake similar to one that has plagued the Vikings, and it may be a result of being a little bit tired and someone firing off early. And the defensive players, you're right, Keith, defensive players are taught on first movement to attack, and Lee Johnson did, but I think Coach Davis does a wise thing there, getting Lee out of the game right now because he's got so much emotion. We don't want to get a personal foul penalty with Curry this deep in their own territory. It's going to be 2nd down and 13 now from the 7.
Need a big play by the defense, Greg.
2nd down, 13 from the 7. Owens under center. Will drop back to pass out of his own end zone. A lot of time. The pass is picked off by Chapman at the 24, and he's going to be down at the 22.
And Greg, that's what we've got to have. This crowd is going crazy here. The coaches are going crazy. Looky there, just spectacular. That's what we want. Big plays like that, and we asked them to do it all week last week, Greg. We asked the defense to come up with the big plays.
This is the young man that we have talked about being the defensive backfield leader. He's the senior. He's got the experience. He's
Number
tough.
3.
He's on the ball, and had he not been tripped up by the receiver there, who knows, Keith?
I tell you what, Greg, this is what we need right here. We needed a big break. Now we need to punch it in the end zone.
1st and 10 for the Vikings. Mercer with the ball, cuts inside, has yardage across the 20 down to the 18, and he'll pick up 5 yards on that play. It's going to be 2nd and 5.
Well, I tell you what, Greg, like I say, this is a lot of what most folks you talk to Walker expected this year. We knew that, as we'll see Mercer there, we knew that we were going to have a thin, weak offensive line for the most part, and you still have to prove that to me so far that they're weak and thin, but the defense has time again made big plays.
Lee Ellis, the center, leading the offensive line. Mercer in motion to the right. This time the fake.
Give him
Porter around the right end. He's going to be close. Out of bounds at the 2-yard line. A great job by Brandon Porter faking the give to Cox and then keeping the ball around right end. 1st down and goal to goal from the 2.
Well, let's look at it as it comes right into your living room here, Greg. A great play, great job by this young sophomore and leading this team.
Good job by Adam down low, down the field by LaRon Clay, number 14, and Brandon Porter, number 10, has the Vikings poised to score here late in the third quarter. First and goal to goal from the 2. The give is going to be to Cox.
Touchdown, Walker!
Across the pile, touchdown, Adam Cox.
Well, I tell you what, Greg, this team you can't say enough about the heart of this team. They come in, they get down early in the game. They never say never. The defense, what can you say about the defense? And this offensive line.
Look at that. The offensive line moved the Curry defensive line into the end zone. Super job there by those guys up front. 69, Craig Price doing a good job along the offensive line. Dustin Myhan, excellent job. Drew Thornley on the hold. Taylor Mosley on the kick. The Vikings take a 4-point lead now, 21-17 with 54 seconds remaining in the third quarter. And with that score and taking the lead, we're going to take a commercial break.
Hi, I'm Shirley Guthrie. I'm with Jasper Mobile Home Brokers, and I'm out here at another satisfied Fleetwood customer, and I'd like to introduce you to them. It's Steve and Rhonda Dickey.
Well, Shirley, she did what it took to get us in our house, and we've been totally satisfied with this home. The service has been great all the way up to now. I've been 100% satisfied.
And we'll do the same for you if you come out and visit our new Fleetwood Supercenter across from Bull Building Supply. Just come and see me, Shirley Guthrie, at Jasper Mobile Homes.
If you're looking for the best price on a new Toyota or GMC truck, it's at John Crump Toyota GMC in Jasper, where we'll do whatever it takes. I guarantee it.
Back to live action with much better news to report. 54 seconds remaining in the third quarter. The Vikings now have the lead for the first time in the game, 21-17. Dustin Myhan a bit shaken up. He is the snapper on all extra points and all punts, a very valuable man, and he's the swing man on the offensive line, Keith.
And, of course, that's a tough position to play, especially on a deep snapper, because they are not protected. I don't know in high school. I know in college they changed the rule this year where you have to wait a full second or two before you can hit the snapper because he is left unprotected. And obviously he took a hard hit, but I know Dustin's got a lot of heart, and it's going to take a lot more than that to get him out of this ball game.
Andy Belot to kick off again. 54 seconds remaining in this third quarter, and the Vikings feeling a lot better about the situation now. Curry now with their backs to the wall. This kick is going to go to the right, down the right sideline. And
bingo! Face mask.
I think it may be a push in the back.
Maybe. He grabbed him up around the helmet, and I was hoping maybe the guy just threw his flag a little too quick, Greg.
I believe we're going to get an illegal use of hands. It's a clip.
All right.
Jackets.
Well, I guess it's a good thing I'm not calling down there.
If we get a camera angle here, we can see the push in the back. I don't think we're going to be able to get it, but it comes right. Well, we didn't get to see it, but there was clearly a push in the back, and so the Yellow Jackets will back up 15 yards from the spot of the foul, and they'll start deep in their own territory yet again. Now, Keith, looking at the first half as opposed to the second half, the Yellow Jackets started in Viking territory every series in the first quarter. In this quarter, they've been deep in their own territory every series.
Well, I tell you what, Greg, it's like we talked about earlier. Right now, the depth of the Vikings, their strength and conditioning, and being able to play folks, platoon them where Curry's had to play the same players on both sides of the ball is really beginning to take a toll.
The Yellow Jackets will have the ball first down and 10 at the 13 or 14-yard line. And Keith, with 49 seconds remaining in the third quarter, not a real great position to be in for the Yellow Jackets.
Well, they're at the position, Greg, where they've almost got to throw the ball. The Vikings have shut down their running game for the most part. They're going to throw the ball. These defensive backs are going to be licking their chops.
Goodwin under center, or Owens under center, will pitch to Goodwin around the right end. Eddie Russell.
What a play!
Drags Goodwin down by his shoulder pads. I don't know what the call is going to be, but it was not a face mask. He grabbed him down by the shoulder pads. No,
let's watch it on the replay and show everyone, Greg. That was a... Now, I'm not not going to say it till I watch.
No, he had him.
Missed that.
He had him by the shirt. He had him by the shirt.
It was they just blew that call, Greg. That's all there was to it.
The official standing behind the play was looking from behind the play and could not see exactly what happened and assumed that there was a face mask, but there was no face mask on that play.
Well, what he saw, Greg, is he saw the play. He saw the force that he grabbed and pulled with the jersey, and he saw the head jerk back. And that's naturally, when you see the head jerk back, you assume it's a face mask, but these guys do not get paid to assume. And of course,
Coach Davis,
I would not be critical of this had I not just looked at it on the replay.
Coach Davis is going to have a conference with the head man, and he's going to plead his case. Once the call's been made, they won't change it, but at the same time, if I were Coach Davis, I would be doing exactly what he's doing, pleading my case and letting him know that somebody could have overruled the side judge on that, somebody who had a better angle.
I don't know, Greg, if we've got that where we can look at it again or not and let everyone see it. And if I can, we'll... Okay, that was already history, but as you say, what it was, the position the official was standing. He saw the head and shoulder jerk back, and that's naturally what you assume. And that's the bad thing about trying to make a shoulder tackle up and around the head, Greg. A lot of times there's calls going to get made like that the officials just, they're out of position to see.
Hopefully that's not going to be a call that turns this game. Sometimes a game does turn on a call. And let's hope that the Viking defense rises up right here at this point. Richie, go ahead.
Looks like another Walker Viking is out. Dusty Myhan has pulled a hamstring. It's been a reoccurring injury, but he's out now.
This time Owens is loose. Tremont Chapman's chasing him down, and Owens is going to be dropped deep inside Walker territory. And Keith, there you go. You get a call like that, and then the next thing you know, Curry breaks for a long play and deep inside Walker territory.
Well, let's look at here on replay, Greg. And a lot of times, a play like that will upset everyone and get them out of sync. And I believe that's what happened to the Vikings on that play.
Tremont Chapman showing his leadership yet again by pursuing the play and making the tackle. Cameron Cox also hustling down the field, not giving up on it. The ball is at the Viking 17-yard line, where it's going to be first down and 10 for the Yellow Jackets with 20 seconds remaining in the quarter.
Of course, that's going to hurt, Greg, if Myhan's unable to come back in. We heard, earlier in the season, he was battling a hamstring problem.
This time the give is to Goodwin around the left side.
String it out.
And
hit him. Good job.
By 3 or 4 Vikings, Stan Norfleet, Cameron Cox, Andy Belot, all hustling to string the play out. Stan making the big play there, defensive end, by forcing the play on outside and not allowing Goodwin to cut the ball upfield. Watch Norfleet stand his ground, force the play outside right here, gives Cox and Belot time to pursue and finish Goodwin off.
They fumbled that ball, Greg. Did you see that?
I did not see that.
Sure did. Well, it's the end of the fourth quarter. I tell you what, folks, if you're sitting at home watching this, end of the third, entering the fourth, well, we've had enough action for it to be 4 quarters. You need to buckle your seatbelts on to get ready for one more quarter of Walker Viking football.
Carl Cannon, Chevy Old, Central Alabama's truck headquarters, shuts out the competition with a triple play. A new S-Series LS, what a catch at $11,995. Flip to an S-Series LS Extended Cab, an All-Star at $13,495. And the Eddie with a 3-door LS Extended Cab, only $13,995. All with air, AM, FM, cassette, and more. 1, 2, 3 away. A triple play, only at Carl Cannon, Chevy Olds in Jasper. Give us a shot.
We're back here to live action. The beginning of the fourth quarter. The Walker Vikings, scoring 14 unanswered points in the third quarter, have taken a 21-17 lead. The Yellow Jackets quarterback Shane Owens, carrying the ball on a long run deep inside Walker territory, has put the Yellow Jackets in a position to possibly score the go-ahead touchdown here at the beginning of the fourth quarter, but it's going to be 2nd and 14 from the 21 to begin.
Well, of course, Greg, we talked about Dusty Myhan. We heard from Richie that he's out of the game. That presents a problem as he is the long snapper. As we see, I believe it's Jared Daniel down there right now warming up to go in when the Vikings get in, and when we score a touchdown, have to kick an extra point.
That sometimes can play a very important part of the game. Obviously, You take someone who's not had any game experience snapping and put them in a situation to snap. Hopefully, Justin will be able to come back. He's still sitting on the bench as we speak.
Well, I believe he's wrapped up down there, Greg.
Is he wrapped up?
I believe they've got him wrapped up.
They're icing it down. I don't know if he's going to come back because they're icing it, and he don't look to be in very good shape.
Well, I tell you what, Greg, if one fella on that team will come back, Dustin will be out there giving it all he could. Of course, with the lead right now, if we can shut Curry down and put a long drive together, you don't want to have to put him in unless you have to.
Second down and 14 from the Viking 21. The Yellow Jackets have the ball at the beginning of this fourth quarter. Coach Hart sending Fred Poe in at linebacker. He's a senior coming out as the sophomore Bull Ferris. Coach Hart, of course, the defensive coordinator. Coach Norwood, the defensive backs coach. Then you have on the offensive side of the ball, Coach Smith, the coordinator. Coach Skip Taylor, who's just recently moved in from Mississippi, went to high school with Coach Davis, and they coached together. As a matter of fact, he and Coach Taylor built this offense that they run.
And of course, Coach Smith ran it also, so him and Coach Taylor spent a lot of time before coaching together.
They're working hand in hand to mold this offense into the kind that they want it to be. Second down, 14. Owens with a straight drop back. Good pursuit.
They got him.
He's not going to be able to wriggle away from
throw a flag.
Cox.
Got to watch those elbows.
Cameron Cox and Stan Norfleet drop Owens back at the 28 for a loss of 7. So it's now going to be third down and 21.
Great fake there by Owens, but the Vikings did not bite. And a little frustration here, I think, a little bit on the end there. Ended up kind of wanting to push a little bit. And that could very easily have been a flag. In a game like this, especially with rivals, you've got to keep your cool.
Third down, 22 for the Yellow Jackets from the Viking 28.
Just don't give them anything deep.
Now there's a flag on the play. The play clock has expired. Delay of game on the Yellow Jackets.
Great job by the Viking defense, confusing the Yellow Jackets, making them spend a little extra time. Great strategy by Coach Hart and the staff there. You know, if you can mix up, rub players in and out at the last second, make changes, and keep the offense off balance a little bit. A lot of times, Greg, you'll get those type penalties.
Keith, this is the exact situation Curry was in earlier when they had a third down and very long and were able to connect on a deep pass. And this time they would obviously be in a passing situation, 3rd and 27. So the rule of thumb is don't let defensive backs, not to let any receiver get behind them. A short drop, and it's going to be a flare out. And this time the pass is going to be caught. It's going to be a 4th down and 2 at the 10-yard line. Again, Keith, the same situation as before. Our defensive back has his back turned to the football, and we're not prepared to make a play on the ball. Matter of fact, we don't ever see the ball until it's too late.
And there you see he got Eddie Russell turned around, got him turned inside, and then broke the pattern off outside, Greg.
4th down and a long 3 from the 10. And the Yellow Jackets are going to go, and this may be a situation where they attempt to pull the Vikings off sides. So the Vikings have to definitely stay set down on the defensive line. Owens calls his count. He gives.
Hit him. No.
He is going to
first down, Walker.
Going to be short of the first down. The Vikings should take over on downs.
First down, Walker. It's going to depend on the spot. It's awful close, Greg.
Vikings football.
He didn't get it. Very good.
Football.
I hear you, Rich, right on top of it.
The replay, let's see who makes the big play here. Chris Williams jumping in there. It's going to be Michael Munzie, it appears. Yes, Michael Munzie leading the charge. Pulls Owens down short. And Keith, that can be something there that really takes the wind out of your sails. Making a long drive and coming up inches short. Now if the Vikings can mount any sort of a drive here to get points on the board, it looks good for the Vikings.
Well, I tell you what, Greg, I just can't say enough about Coach Hart, Coach Norwood, and Coach Sasser when it comes to this defense. They have put a defense together this year. Bend but don't break. It's just a very exciting defense to watch, and they come up with the big plays. Now it's the offensive side of the ball. I do not see my hand on the sidelines anywhere, Greg. Can't tell if he's in
Now
or
it's
not.
ball control, Keith.
Dustin don't appear to be in.
It's ball control now for the Vikings. Brandon Porter under center. This give will be to Schamberger. Nowhere to go. Cuts back against the grain. He's going to get 3 out of it when he had nothing. So a good job by Terrence to get some positive yardage. A flag on the play. And we'll have to wait on the signal. Keith, one good thing, one good defensive adjustment. We have not jumped off sides at all the second half.
Well, that's good, and that's something that hurt us, and I think a lot of that, may have had holding. Defense holding. And now, if I'm right, Greg, is that not an automatic
That's an automatic first down.
Great running by number 21, Terrence Schamberger. Terrence having a big game last week against midfield, and once again, making the key plays this week.
Defensive holding will move the ball forward 10 yards, and it will be an automatic first down.
Well, that's something in a game like this you can't afford.
You notice, Keith, from the first half to the second half, who's making most of the mental errors, and that is a great credit. I cannot emphasize enough what a fantastic credit that is to the Walker coaches to go in at halftime and to say, guys, we're just not mentally sharp. We have not played well off the ball. We haven't done anything very well to this point. We've got to step it up a notch, and they've come back out the second half, Keith, and been a lot sharper.
Well, I tell you what, I can't say enough about the defense. The offense is moving and making the big plays when they need to, but this defense is just unreal, Greg. They're relentless. They're making the big plays. They've really only given up, I guess about 7 points, because one of the drives came over a turnover, one on a kickoff return.
This give is going to be to Mercer around right in, and again, he gets good yardage across the 25 out to the 26 or 27-yard line. Going to bring up a second down and 4.
Well, I tell you what, Greg, the offensive line is beginning to gel. We saw that a little bit last week as they were getting tougher and tougher as we watched the replay. Great running by number 2, Sean Mercer. There you see Lee Ellis and gang down there making some great blocks.
Porter under center now. Second down and 4. Single back in the backfield is Cox. The give's up the middle, and Cox maybe manages a yard. Tough running right there, Keith. And Adam, let's say this about Adam Cox, who is one of the premier backs in the Southeast. He has, to a certain extent, sacrificed himself tonight for the good of the team because he's having to run up in the middle where Curry has, and as far as I can tell from talking to some of their fans before the game, their game plan was to stop Adam Cox, which means they're bunching people in the middle.
And, of course, Adam, there was some question of whether he would even play tonight. He was coming off a slight injury, I believe, but I think he's okay. He's proved tonight that he is 100%. Up.
Third down, extra effort by Brandon Porter. Flag on the play.
And where it went, Greg, is not a good sign. Of course, I heard Coach Buddy Thorne down here calling for defensive holding, but I don't know if they're going to listen to him, Greg.
It's a clip against the Vikings. They aren't going to listen to Dr. Thorne.
I appreciate him trying, though.
Oh, yeah. We appreciate the effort. But it's going to be a 15-yard penalty, and not in this situation do you need a penalty of that kind. Unfortunate for the Vikings here, and I don't know if we have the replay. Yep, here it comes. Good job in the booth.
Yeah, there it was.
You make a play like that out of effort, but it's not a smart play. And it'll be interesting to see here, Keith. I think a safe pass of some kind, possibly a screen, a pass out in the flat of some sort. But I don't think we'll throw the ball down the field in this situation.
Well,
8 minutes and 56 seconds, and the clock is running. It's now 3rd down and 16 for the Vikings. Porter under center. Mercer in motion. Straight drop. The flare out again. This time,
but we had
pass right into Jay Pierce's hands.
Backfield in motion on that, though, Greg. I think Adam raised up just a split second soon.
And that play would be blown dead then before it started, if that's right, because an illegal motion Well, I guess, Keith, I don't know what I'm talking about. But I thought that if a play like that...
I think in the backfield, and I'll have to brush up, a play like that in the backfield, he raised up right as the ball was snapped, or right before the ball was snapped, you know, and they have to be set. Had it been on the line, they would have called the play dead.
Important punt here, and Jared Daniel is the snapper. My hand is not in the game, so great snap by Daniel. Cox fields the punt. A bit off the side of his foot, but it does take a short Walker roll and will be out of bounds at the Curry 44-yard line. So once again, the defense will be called upon to make a stand here.
Well, Greg, they did it all last week against midfield. They have done it all game tonight, making big plays. Can they go to the well one more time? We talked about conditioning and depth. Now it's starting to play a little into Curry's hand because Walker defense is having to stay on the field so long, and you know, it does not matter how many players you have. If they have to stay on for extended periods of time, it is going to hurt you.
8:42 remaining in the game. Walker with a 4-point lead, 21-17. Curry first down and 10 from the Viking 44. Owens spinning away from one or two tacklers, but is not able to get away from Michael Munzie.
And Eddie Russell looks like also in on the play, number 16.
Eddie Russell, Anthony Fleming, red man as he's called up here, also hustling over a gain of 2, second down and 8.
There you see it right there, great defensive pursuit. Of course, Owens breaking the Silver run long early in this half, Greg.
Very, very important for everyone on the Viking defense at this point to play good, sound technique football here. Stay at home on every play. This time the give is straight up the middle to the fullback, and that's what they've been waiting on. We have not seen that play in the second half. This time the give is to Key up the middle, and it's good for the first down to the 26. So it'll be first down and 10 for the Yellow Jackets from the Viking 26.
Well, Greg, the defense has got to come up now, and time again, as we see that on the replay, we need a big play. They've managed it before, and it takes a couple fellas bring that. That's a man right there running that ball.
Very strong, very good runner. Probably will be playing college football this time next year. First down and 10, the defensive coaching staff along with Coach Bubba Davis. This pitch to Goodwin. Makes a good cut around the outside, and Goodwin is going to be in the end zone for the score. And Curry has taken the lead with 7 minutes and 35 seconds remaining in the game. And that's a tribute to Kerry Goodwin to come back after suffering leg cramps and be able to make a run like that.
Well, there you see it on the replay, and if you think back to last week's game, Greg, the outside is where we got hurt the most, and that's where Curry has scored this week.
Our defensive end that time got too deep on the play. Our cornerback was not there to force the play, and so consequently Goodwin picks a hole and is able to sneak through for the touchdown. Curry's going to be close on this snap. They get it off. The kick is
good.
A sidewinder kick that makes its way through the uprights, and there are flags on the play now.
Temper starting to flare a little bit as a lot of times they do in these inter-rival games, Greg.
Flags down on the play, and it's going to be some sort of unsportsmanlike conduct against one team or the other, possibly both.
Now, they could very easily throw a flag on Coach Williams out there for being on the field, Greg.
That is correct. He, unless he has permission by the officials to come on the field, cannot come onto the field. Dead ball personal foul against Curry. Also against Walker, so it's offsetting. And sometimes you say, what's the point when they're offsetting like that?
Well, what tickles me, Greg, is when they make the call on an offsetting penalty like that, and they'll mark the ball back 5 yards and turn around and mark it back up 5 yards. Have you ever seen that happen?
I've seen that happen. And it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, except I guess you have to follow the rules.
Well, the monkey's on the back of the Walker offense right now, Greg. We need to put together a score drive. We need to come down here. We need to come away with at least a field goal. That was a big play right there for Curry.
Taylor Mosley on the sideline practicing his kicks just in case it comes down to a field goal for a game-tying field goal. And I can tell you something about that young man. He has spent many, many, many hours kicking the football on his own. As a kicker, you spend a lot of lonely hours away from the rest of the team preparing yourself for a moment such as this. And I can assure you Taylor's going to be ready if he's called upon to do the kicking chores. He really, Keith, there's probably not many kids on the Walker Viking team who spend as many hours practicing his art as Taylor Mosley has.
Of course, a lot of folks don't realize he has in his bloodlines a kicker that a lot of Auburn fans will remember. Al Del Greco is related to Taylor. Of course, NFL fame started with Green Bay, I believe, and I don't remember who he's with right now, but many years in the NFL. A pretty good golfer, too.
Well, I would imagine that we will see Curry kick another ball away from the deep men toward the sideline to stay away from the threat of Mercer and Chapman. Key will approach the ball, and it's going to be straight down the field. Well, actually to the right sideline to Jay Pierce. Pierce will take the ball back up the middle, and he breaks outside across the 27, 28-yard line where he'll be down there. And the Viking offense will take over with 7 minutes and 28 seconds remaining in the game. The Vikings now trailing by 3, 24-21.
Well, I'll tell you, there you see Coach Hart talking with the defense. Once again this week, Greg, what has really hurt us is just 2 or 3 big plays. You know, we've made some mental errors, and they're a great return by Jay, number 85. But we've got to take this ball downfield on a nice, long, sustained drive.
Porter gives the ball to Mercer, who's tripped up after a gain of maybe 2. Ball's across the 30, 31. It'll be 2nd down and 8 from the 31 for the Vikings.
Of course, that's not to say now, Greg, that if they wanted to bust it on one play, I would argue with that. But it would be good. The Curry offense is hot right now. They're pumped up. They're playing on a lot of emotion and adrenaline right now. Like I said, it's a senior-laden team. We need to put the ball together. We don't need to give them the ball with a lot of time left.
Important series here for the Viking offense. 2nd down and 8. Cox, the lone setback to pitch to Cox. If he can make the end, he's got some running room. He is able to get across the 33 to the 34. And he's going to be about 5 yards short of the first down, so it's going to be 3rd and 5.
Well, we've got to have some help out there on the end, Greg. That's all there is. You know, it's hard, even if you're Adam Cox, it's hard to get away from 2 players.
3rd down and 5 now. Somebody along the Viking offensive line and in the backfield has to come up with a big play here to keep this drive alive with 6:44 remaining in the game. Porter under center, Mercer in motion. The give is to Mercer, and he's not going to make the first down. He's going to be 2, 3 yards short of the first down.
Well, I'll tell you what, Greg, this is a big punt coming up right now. And once again, we're going to have to call on the defense. And you know, you can't set enough time. They have been on the field nearly the whole second half.
6:17 remaining. Timeout, Walker. And having to burn a timeout in this situation is not really very good, because trailing, you want to keep your timeouts so that you're able to use them just in case you need them before the end of the game.
Well, I tell you what, Greg, I don't know who handles the kicking game for the Vikings, but they're all huddled around offensive coordinator Junior Smith right here. May have some trickery up her sleeve.
Well, I think the offensive unit's going to go back on the field, Keith.
But that's making a statement. You know, it's a tough call. You've got to get out there. And like I said, the key is the defense has been on the field so long, Greg. The Curry offense is hot right now. And, you know, maybe they feel like they can make this 2
They're going for it.
They're going for it. You heard from Richie Hartson down on the sideline.
Did you happen to hear what play might have been called, Richie?
I'm not sure. But they're going for it, definitely. Here we go.
Well, I tell you what, it's kind of like you hear a lot of coaches, you get down there, you know, if you can't make 2 yards, you know, you're in bad shape. Now would be an ideal time, Greg, for a trick play.
Gutsy call coming up here by Coach Davis. 4th down and 2, 6:17 remaining. The ball at the Walker Tinker, 37-yard line. Here's the fake, and it's a tremendous play by the Curry defense to trip Brandon Porter up on a naked bootleg. Porter tripped up at his own 33. The Yellow Jackets will take over now, first down and 10 at the Viking 33. It was a good call, but Porter was not able to get away from the lone tackler. Had he been able to, Keith, it would have been a big gainer.
Well, you know, you take a chance like that, and, you know, this time of the game, everything's on the line. You've got to feel like you can make 2 yards, Greg. Well, it's time for, believe it or not, a heat break tonight. Let's go ahead and take a commercial break, and we'll be right back after this.
People judge the quality of your business partly by the quality of your sign. To make that perfect first impression, you need a sign from Speedy Signs and Banners. We have state-of-the-art equipment that produces multicolored vinyl signs for every situation. We have Alabama's largest vinyl cutter, so we can make your signs as big or as small as you need. And Speedy Signs and Banners can duplicate your logo or trademark perfectly. We're in Boldo, but you can call us from anywhere at 384-1060. Speedy Signs and Banners.
We're back to Gambrell Cairo Field. 6:04 remaining in the game. The Vikings trail 24-21. They've just given the ball up on downs to the Curry Yellow Jackets.
Here's a replay of that play, Greg, with Porter.
One player right here just tripped up by the top of the shoe.
I mean, he gets by that one player, Greg. He'd probably still be running right now.
That's why, Keith, you run the ropes. When people see football players running through the ropes drill, is to teach you to get your feet up high so that you hopefully can avoid something like that. Brandon making a great effort, but just getting tripped up. Now it's up to the defense. First and 10 for the Jackets out of the eye. The give to Goodwin, and he's got positive yardage, running hard out across the 30-yard line, down to maybe the 29. That'll be a pickup of 3 or 4, second down and 6 at the 29.
Well, Greg, at this stage of the game with 5 minutes and 59 seconds left, when you have gang tackling like that, you've got to have someone tackling the football.
Face mask against the Vikings, Keith.
Coach Davis not going to be happy with this game. There's a lot of mistakes and penalties, Greg. But, you know, and in all fairness, everybody talks about how this should not have been a game. But I tell you what, a lot of folks do not realize that this is the 2 largest schools in the county, and Curry is very close to being a 6A school.
They are for the past 2 years, Keith, they have had a larger 9th grade class than the Walker Vikings have over the past 2 years. And if that trend continues over the next 2, obviously they would be the largest school in Walker County. Well, tackle by Ferris, and also Eddie Russell in on the play.
Well, what they're doing now, Greg, is they're trying their best to run and run, and we've seen that they have a pretty fair kicker. Get down here, get a field goal at the worst on the board, and force the Vikings to go the length of the field. And, you know, we need a big defensive stand. We need a big sack, a big negative yardage play right here.
Second down and 9. Key likely to get the ball in this situation. Naked bootleg.
Get him.
It's going to be Owens.
Good job.
It's going to be brought down by Chapman, and Munsey trailing the play also. And you're right, Keith. It looks like they may be playing for the field goal here, playing it safe, not wanting to turn the ball over with an opportunity to kick a field goal. It stretches the lead out to 6, which would force the Vikings to get into the end zone.
That was a quarterback keeper all the way there, Greg. And like I say, I'm the next coach. The next football game I coach will be my first. It would not surprise me to see a handoff right up the middle on this play, over to the right side of the field to center it up where the field goal kicker have a straight-on shot. And then that forces the Vikings to go for a touchdown to win the ball game. A little misdirection.
Rodney Walker running along the left hash. And I would have thought they would have improved the angle also. Did not. It's going to be 4th down, and the field goal unit will come onto the field. And at this stage of the game, anything can happen. But you've really got to think that Coach Williams would do the safe thing and kick the field goal. And we'll we'll see what indeed the Curry Yellow Jackets are going to do. No indication that they're going to kick.
Timeout by Coach Williams.
Timeout, Curry. 3:48 remaining in the game, with the Walker Vikings trailing the Curry Yellow Jackets 24-21. With that timeout, we're also going to take a break, and we'll be back with the remainder of the game in just a moment.
Rehab South is an orthopedic sports and home rehab provider of physical therapy and athletic training services in the Northwest Alabama area. They are staffed by registered physical therapists, licensed physical therapists and assistants, and certified athletic trainers. Located in the Southern Orthopedic and Sports Medicine Complex, Rehab South is equipped with state-of-the-art testing and exercise equipment to help patients of all kinds to recover to their fullest potential. So whether it's for a one-time instruction or a comprehensive program, Rehab South is here to serve the physical rehabilitation needs of Northwest Alabama.
We're back here to live action, and action it is. The Curry Yellow Jackets electing to go for it. 4th down and 9. The ball resting at the Walker Viking 13-yard line.
Greg, they've been successful several times tonight on 4th and long yardage.
This time a straight drop. The pass got a man wide open at the goal line. It's Key. He's going to be forced out of bounds at the 1. And Keith, if Curry's able to punch it in here for a touchdown, it does not look good for the Vikings.
Well, I'll tell you what, as we look at it here on replay, these Yellow Jackets have come to play ball tonight, Greg. We knew that our offense was going to need some work. With offensive line, lost a great offensive lineman. There you see the defense has played good, Greg. They've just been put in too many tough situations from the set.
With a fullback like Key, he may get it 3 or 4 times right here in the center of the line.
We're right on the goal line with you folks on this play.
On the goal line. Owens under center.
Come on, defense.
Everybody firing off low. Touchdown. It's a touchdown. Something extraordinary is going to happen here if the Walker Vikings are going to win this football game.
Well, Greg, for some unknown reason, I've yet to figure it out, everybody's getting up heading to the exits. You know, I've been at several ball games before where 3 minutes and 30-something seconds is a whole lot of time. No need for anyone to panic or give up on the team or go home. There's a lot of time left right here.
3 minutes and 38 seconds remaining. Curry now with a 30-21 lead. Key will be attempting the point after. This would extend the lead to 10, which would mean that the Vikings will have to score twice. And the kick is up and good with a score of 31-21 now. 3:38 remaining. The Vikings really have their work cut out for them.
Well, Greg, I guarantee you, if there's a coach on the face of this earth back and together in the final minutes of a ball game, he's down there on the sideline right now, Coach Bubba Davis and his staff. He's talking to him. And, you know, you come out and you make a couple of big plays here right off the bat. You're right back in this ball game. Get in this 3-point ball game. Get in there, make a good defensive stand. The key is the offense needs to score quick now, and that's going to put the defense right back on there again in a bind.
A great return here will set up a score. If ever there was a time when our deep men need to return one for long yardage, this is it. My guess is that Curry will squib kick or again kick toward the sideline to keep the ball out of Chapman and Mercer's hands. So far, they've had a great game plan, and Keith, they've executed it well, and my hat's off to the Yellow Jackets. I thought they were beginning to tire some toward the end of the third quarter, but they got their second wind, and right now they have a 10-point lead.
Well, there's a guy.
My guess is absolutely wrong. The ball goes to Chapman. He's not going to be able to pick it up. It's a miscue that, again, on special teams has hurt the Vikings tremendously. Miscue after miscue on kickoffs and kick coverage. And consequently, we're back deep in our own territory at our 15-yard line.
And that right here is just an instance, Greg, of wanting to make something happen too bad.
Sean Mercer doing the wise thing of getting down on the football.
And that's the best thing you can do. Many times they'll try to pick it up, and all that would lead to is worse field position if you're able to keep the ball.
3:35, screen pass to
No
Cox.
blocking.
Nobody there. Adams going to make any yardage at all that he makes on his own. He gets a yard at best. The clock is running. 3:29 now and moving, and Keith, I think we have one timeout left because we spent 2 earlier. Straight drop, trying to catch Curry with a rush here and throw a little screen out, and nobody blocks the Curry linebacker, and he's able to bring Adam down. We're going to be under 3 minutes on this snap. Under 3 now, 2:52, and the clock is running. We need to get this play off. 2-1 on the play clock. Pass out to the flat to Jay Pierce.
Sideline. Get there. Go, Jay.
Run,
Get out of bounds. What a ball. Good, go. First down, stop the clock.
The clock will stop. There's a Curry player down with a leg cramp.
I think we got a late hit on that, too.
Is there a flag on the play, Richie?
Curry player down on the sideline.
And here we are in the replay coming right at you. Jay Pierce, big-time player, Greg.
Big-time play here. John Oliver hustling over. One player to beat, and Pierce able to get by him, but pursuit from the Yellow Jackets on down the line. And there's a late hit, spearing right there. You're right, Richie. I believe we're going to have spearing.
Got it.
Personal foul against Curry will move the ball ahead 15 yards.
And this is also a break for the Vikings right here, Greg, with a injury timeout. Though you hate to see anyone hurt, and you can tell by the position there that it's cramps, trying to tighten those legs up and get those cramps out. And for someone that has never had cramps, they do not know what that young man is going through down there right now. An exciting game right here, Greg. Coming right down to the wire, these Curry Yellow Jackets. Of course, now, a lot of folks don't remember these fellas went to the third rounds of the playoffs last year. One of the greatest comebacks that I can remember in Walker County history happened up at Curry last year against, I believe it was Brooks. I believe you were on vacation or something that night. And they were down 21-0 going into the fourth quarter and came back and won the ball game. And Coach Williams showed that night that he could have tied the game and sent it into overtime. He said, no, we're going for the win. We're going for 2. And they won the ball game. So these young men know how to play. They've been in the playoffs, a lot of experience, Greg. It's just a matter of coming out and executing the plays. And I'm sure Coach Davis and the staff will go back to some fundamentals in practice this week, because it doesn't get any easier.
Keith, I would not want to be at practice on Monday as a player. And really even as a coach, because it's one of those days, it's one of those Mondays that you dread going back to because you haven't played as well as you want to, and you know you've got a lot of work to do, and the players will certainly be dreading Monday.
But Greg, if we can pop 1 or 2 big plays right here and get a quick score, the ball game's a long ways from over.
Now we have a stoppage by the officials. 2:35 remaining in the game. It'd be wonderful if we could score before 2 minutes, before the time has reached 2 minutes. If we could score within the next 35 seconds. And you've got to think, Keith, that Pierce will be the primary receiver. He's got single coverage.
And he's a tall young man. So what's his size over, Greg? He's good 6'1", I believe.
Jay Pierce, 6 foot 170. He is a junior.
The play clock's running. Porter under center, Greg.
There's the ball game right there, Keith. If Brad Key picks that ball off, that's the ball game.
And I tell you what, we've still got 3 more shots to get in the end zone, Greg. We've got to get, of course, he hits that play. It's a big gainer. On the tackle, the clock stops. You're down there. You go ahead. And a lot of folks don't realize you go ahead on this play and you kick the extra point. You don't worry about trying to go for 2 now.
Porter again, straight drop back, 3-step drop, throws it out to Pierce.
Good job.
Pickup of about 7 on the play, 6 or 7. Pierce is out of bounds wisely.
extra second flipped off the clock up there after he went out of bounds. Great reception there by Jay. Big night for him.
3rd down and 4 now. The ball just inside the Curry 23.
Well, we need some big plays right here. Of course, that'd be a good little time for that little pump and go, Greg.
2:28 remaining. Porter drop back, out again to Pierce, get out of bounds, get out of bounds.
Job.
He does.
Good job. And that took a whole 5 seconds, Greg. 4 seconds, rather. It was 2:28. And I tell you what, you can see right here, this is the ideal time, like I say, for Porter to pump and send Pierce downfield or have someone else. Great job there.
Good job by Jay. Good throw by Brandon.
Smart play, too. Even though he avoided that first tackle, he got what he could and then got over by the sidelines where he could get out and stop the clock.
1st down and 10 inside the 14. Here comes the fade route.
He's got him. He's got him. Almost.
Pass overthrown a little bit. That play also took 4 seconds. 2:20 remaining now in the game. Again, Walker trailing by 10, 31-21. 2:20 remaining. The Vikings threatening to score.
And there you see it on the replay, just a little. And a lot of that comes from a little inexperience from the quarterback, Greg, a 10th grader. And I tell you what, this guy has done some kind of job tonight coming in. Came in the first half, midway through, and has done an excellent job moving this ball team.
2nd down and 10 from the 13. Porter again, a straight drop. Good blocking, the pass out to Schamberger.
Sidelines.
Is not able to shake a tackle, and the clock's going to keep running. The Vikings need to get lined up in a hurry. We do not need to huddle up here. We need to get on the line of scrimmage and move the football. We are now under 2 minutes, 1:59. We need to hurry up, guys. 1:55, and the clock is running. 3rd down and 5. Need to convert here to keep the drive alive. 1:49. Porter under center. Takes a snap, 2-step drop. Again, the fade's going to be a little long. 4th down and 5 now.
Well, what do you do here, Greg? Do you go ahead and try for the touchdown, or do you kick the field goal and hope for a defensive stand and get the ball back?
I think you go ahead and play for the touchdown here, Keith. You're going to have a touchdown, and you play for the touchdown here. If you don't get it, it's the ball game, obviously, but then again, if you miss the field goal, it's the ball game. It would be almost to a certain extent a little bit unfair to Taylor to put him in under this kind of pressure. The offense now must convert. 4th and 5. This is the ball game.
He's got him. He's got him.
Ladies and gentlemen, this ball game is going to be history. The Curry Yellow Jackets are going to win this football game with 1:38 seconds remaining. Walker, if I'm not correct, Keith, we have 1 timeout remaining, and that won't be enough.
Well, I tell you, it's been a rough night for the Vikings. The stage was set for this game from the very start, Greg. On the opening kickoff, Curry returned at the length of the field with the score and hardly any time into the game, and now, you know, you've got to hope for, well, a miracle. I mean, that's what you've got to have right here, Greg. You've got to have hope the ball pops up in the air and the defensive player can get it, take it in.
It would be a miracle unlike anything I've seen in football, Keith, but it is possible. 1st down now for the Yellow Jackets from the 8. Gain of about 2 on the play across the 10 to the 11. The 2nd down and 9 for the Yellow Jackets. The clock continues to run, 1:25.
And I tell you what, Greg, you see it on your screen right there. You're going to see some celebrating in a minute like you've not seen in Walker County in a long, long time.
Well, it's been since the early 80s that Curry has beaten Walker. The last time these teams squared, or the last time Curry won, Coach Danny Joe Gambrell was coaching at Curry, well, let's get that play. It's going to be again a play up the middle for no gain. 3rd down and 8. David Campbell was coaching at Walker, and if I remember correctly, Keith, Curry won that game 21-20. It was quite a shootout, much like this one. So there's going to be much celebration. And in talking to some Curry fans earlier in the day today, they really believed that they were going to win this game, and running the opening kickoff back certainly didn't hurt.
Well, and it would be easy, you know, to hear a lot of our fans talk. They thought they were going to come in and cakewalk this game, and I think, you know, we might have been misled a little bit last week, Greg. Not that midfield was as strong of an opponent as what we thought. We played a quality opponent tonight. and it was just a big, great win for the Curry Yellow Jackets. Notice Coach Williams over there is wearing a wet shirt right now. They've done Gatoraded him. A tough loss for the Vikings, but on the other hand, this is where you find out